Oakland A's take the field with their 70 wins this season, while the New York Yankees 14 games out starting the day, 46 wins on the year. Yankees on the road, though, opened up in Seattle with some big wins. They've won 305 in a row coming into this, and for the visiting in New York Yankees, Roberto Kelly will be leading it off. He'll be playing in center field. Steve Sax at second base. Here's one of those rookies, Oscar Azocar. He's in left field. DH tonight will be Mel Hall. Another rookie starting, Kevin Maas. There's the home run man. Jesse Barfield in right field will follow him in the lineup. Another rookie, Jim Leyritz at third base. Brian Dorsett up from Columbus will be doing the catching, and Alvaro Espinoza will be the shortstop. Defensive alignment tonight for the A's. Jose Canseco back in right field. Dave Henderson in center. The other Henderson is out, so Felix Jose is in left. Carney Lansford at third. Weiss at short. Gallego at second. Mark McGwire at first. Terry Steinbach will do the catching tonight. 33-year-old right-hander Dave Stewart starting.
Well, no hitter this year. Trying to win 20 for the fourth year. Just amazing. And the one thing I think about is intensity, concentration. Article in today's paper saying what he has understood. Number one, he's got to read hitters. Of course, you know he does that to win 20 games every year. But also, you got to concentrate just as hard against the end of the lineup as you do against the middle of it. He said he's never had a problem doing that. We go back to that Nolan Ryan game we did a couple of weeks ago in Texas. Ryan saying maybe he would have a problem with some new young hitters. You can see the numbers. He pitches great at home. And the one thing that really comes to mind is Dave Stewart, contrary to a lot of modern pitchers, Gary, is in there for the duration. Had to go 11 innings to win a ball game. They will go to Eckersley because he's probably the best in the league. But if he has to pitch a complete game, already 3 shutouts this year, he can do it. 133 decisions out of 151 starts.
Don't see that much anymore.
No, you don't. Well, that's how you're going to win 20 every year. You know, you want to go to Eckersley, but you only want to go to him for the 9th inning. They don't bring him in very often in the 8th.
Stewie is ready to go, and Roberto Kelly will be leading it off against him. Dave Stewart, 4-5 lifetime against the New York Yankees this season, and a start against Dave LaPointe. There you see Kelly, and we are underway. First ball hitting to short. One hop to Walt Weiss. Mark McGwire, and in a hurry, Roberto Kelly's 0 for 12 now. There you see Weiss, the shortstop, and there's one away in the first inning.
Well, that's another thing you have to do if you're going to be aggressive on the mound. You got to make sure they swing the bat. Strength to strength. Fastball out of the plate. That's what Kelly likes. And then, of course, if you hit it to really almost anybody in this infield, they are going to gobble it up, especially Weiss. What great hands and great movement he has for a guy only in his 3rd year.
Keep that in mind as you take a look at Steve Sax batting second in the lineup about that defense. He's first ball hitting right up the middle off the pitching rubber, and it's into center field for a base hit. Dave Henderson will get it back in. 2 pitches, an out and a single. And Sax just 1 for 21 coming into this ball game tonight. Starts it out with a single off Stewie, who's going, maybe I better not throw one in the strike zone.
Well, actually made a pretty good pitch. The difference, of course, that being an out, is he hit it right back up the middle. And I had a chance to talk to Steve Sax. Last year, a terrific year with 205 hits. This year, coming in, like you said, 1 for 21, only hitting 260. He said, I've tried everything. He said, but I maybe have hit 25 to 30 games right on the balls, right on the nose, right at people. And that'll make a big difference.
It will. Oscar Azocar. Here's one of the rookies that we were talking about earlier. Road trip, just 2 for 12. Look at the stance he's got when we get a chance as Sax goes back to first. Azocar, an all-around good ball player, has one of the more unusual stances in the game. Very wide. Back foot, look where it is, almost out of the batter's box. And that front leg almost locked.
I think if you scout Oscar, you don't really know what his strike zone is because it's anywhere. Saw him in Texas, swings the balls over his head. Swing at the breaking ball well out in front of the plate. But I think what this stance allows him to do, look how he's back on that back leg. That's what you want to do as a hitter. Stay back. And even if your body comes forward, you want to keep those hands back.
Behind the plate, Steinbach's thrown out 12 of 39 this season as far as the base dealers are concerned. Sax at first, 30 stolen bases for him. Inside, not going. Steinbach doesn't have to make the move on it. Ricky Henderson, who's not playing, still leading the league with 49. Sax is second in stolen bases. La Russa on the left. Dave Duncan, the pitching coach, on the right.
Well, Sax at first can steal, along with Kelly, the 2 best steals or base runners on the Yankee ball club. 30 out of 37.
And he fouls it back. And under Stump Merrill, one of the things the Yankees are doing is taking some chances. They're doing some things. They're trying to get this ball club going. Some hit and run, play the rookies, let guys steal. They've been caught more than anybody else, says Stump Merrill, the skipper. And the Yankees are playing some good baseball right now. 28-33 since he took over, but they've won 12 of their last 16. 2-1 count, one away, and Sachs not going all the way back to the bag.
Stewart's tough to run on because he's very quick to the plate. The numbers with Steinbach, the league average is right around 30%, so he's up there around 35. He's a little bit above that.
One thing that happens with the Oakland A's, Tony La Russa calls for step-offs by pitchers, pitch-outs as usual, and throws to first base, which is a bit unusual. La Russa will do all of that.
Well, Roger Craig, I think, had a lot to do that right across the bay, and I think what it does, it makes you concentrate on him.
Sachs is going. Hit and run was on, and Azocar fouls it off. 2 balls, 2 strikes. 2-2. Sachs coming back. Crew chief tonight is working behind the plate in the umpiring crew. Don Denkinger, John Shulock at first, Tim McClellan at second base, and Durwood Merrill, another veteran, 14 years, over at third.
That sounds like something that's so logically, but a lot of times you get geared on the hitter, you forget about the base runner, especially at second base.
Would you prefer having a skipper call if you're on the mound pitching?
If it was La Russa, not if it was Weaver.
Oh!
Yeah, we got him early.
He didn't mean that, Earl. Yes, he did. 2-2, and he got it. Stewart on our radar gun at 88 on the third strikeout pitch, and Azocar goes down swinging, 2 away.
Ball batting number 27.
Fastball, curveball, split finger. This is just a fastball that he makes a good pitch inside third of the plate. You can see Azocar trying to wait, just couldn't catch up with it. With 2 strikes, a lot of times you will look away, try to protect the outside part of the plate. He made a pretty good pitch on the inside portion.
Azocar has only struck out 7 times in 97 at bats. He has not drawn a walk. He has some of the most unusual numbers. We'll talk about those as we go along. The DH tonight is Mel Hall. And again, Sachs with 2 down, this time diving back to the bag.
Yeah, I think that Dave Stewart will pay a little more attention to Steve Sachs now with 2 outs. Even though Hall can hit home runs, 11 on the year, type of guy you don't want to worry so much about the base runner at first that you try to get rid of the ball so quickly that you make a bad pitch. When you're talking about Mel Hall, you better have good location, especially with a fastball.
Hall with that open stance, and they play him to pull in the infield and the outfield. And Stewart's in with a strike. 2 down, runner at first base, Sachs, who had the single. Hall, the designated hitter, 5 for 21 against the Oakland A's this season, and Sachs hoping that he can move him around. You see that Sachs, a pretty good streak right there as part of the 30 that he's stolen. Pitches away, ball and a strike.
If this was Yankee Stadium, you may not want to take the bat out of Mel Hall's hand, but here, you know, pretty big ballpark, a lot of foul territory. Here's Stump Merrill. You will no doubt give him the steal when he gets a jump, because I think that maybe Sachs is having a problem reading Stewart. As I said, very quick to the plate, and Steinbach throws well.
And he had him going the other way. Sachs was leaning, trying to get the extra step in the walk-off lead that time, and Stewart caught him.
Now, when you have a consecutive stolen base, whether you're Kevin McReynolds, who had 22 in a row or whatever, that means you're picking the right pitches in the right spots. You're not a Ricky Henderson who can steal just about any time.
There he goes, swung on it and foul back, and Sachs for the second time will meander back over to first base as Stewart goes ahead on the count, 1 ball and 2 strikes.
I think a lot of people think that tires a runner. I think it actually helps him, gets him looser, especially early in the ball game.
Also, sometimes the pitcher will think you're not going to go on the next one and maybe not take the long look at you. Bucky Showalter, Mike Ferraro are the coaches for the New York Yankees. Mel Hall's taking a little what for from the A's bench. The guy's standing up over there. 1-2 count on him, 2 down. Sachs not running. That could be trouble if it's fair. Canseco over, and it is a foul ball. See the 330 sign down that line. It's a souvenir. All coming back. Hall Hall has had great games of late over the last month, hitting .315. There's Jose. 3 games as a DH. Bad back's been bothering him, but he's back in right field for tonight's game. Tony La Russa said, I could have started him a couple days ago, but I wanted to give him a little more rest. 1-2 the count. Sachs not going. Pretty good breaking ball. Hall was worried that might have been in there, but it wasn't. 2-2.
Yeah, if you hit off Dave Stewart 5 years ago, you'd look for the overpowering fastball and the curveball, and that's it. Maybe an occasional changeup. But when he came over here, 1986, in fact, Tony La Russa's first game was his first start. Dave Duncan taught him the forkball. Boy, has it made a difference.
Whoa, changed his whole career around.
But you know, the one thing that I remember of last year's World Series, of course, he won 2 games, is it even when he got behind 2-0 to good hitters. We're talking Kevin Mitchell, Matt Williams, Will Clark. Good enough fastball to get him out behind in the count. Got that type of stuff.
3-2 delivery to center field. Dave Henderson. Gotcha, baby. No runs, a base hit, a runner left on, and for Stewart, 19 innings now without an earned run. The left-hander, they are 22-13 against left-handed starters this season. The Oakland A's are, as they face Dave LaPointe. And our Sears diehard starting lineup for the world champion Oakland A's. Carney Lansford's leading off with Henderson out. Willie Randolph, the DH second. Jose Canseco will be in right field batting third. Dave Henderson driving in some big runs in center field. Terry Steinbach will be doing the catching. Mark McGuire at first base will follow Steinbach. Felix Jose in left field for Henderson. Then Walt Weiss, the shortstop, will be batting eighth, and second baseman Mike Gallego will be batting ninth. Dave LaPointe is ready to go as Carney Lansford steps in. And first ball hitting, that one is foul. Just missed. Hitters are jumping tonight. The defensive alignment tonight as Lansford heads back. Barfield, Kelly, and Azokar in the outfield. Larrett's at third. Alvaro Espinosa the shortstop. Sachs and Moss. Dorsett doing the catching, and Dave LaPointe on the mound.
Well, he doesn't throw very hard. That's when you get a high fastball, especially the first pitch of a game when he hasn't established the junk away. He's a big guy at 6'3". He's about 225, but first pitch was 77 miles per hour. He has pitched well, though. The amazing thing, he's won 6 games. They've all stopped losing streaks. And in his 8 no decisions, he has left every game with a lead.
That's amazing. Again, up the middle for the base hit on the second pitch. Carney Lansford.
Yeah, can't stay up in the strike zone. Excuse me, but yeah, 2 for his last 16. When you see a Dave LaPointe out there that does not throw hard, it's what you call a comfortable at bat. You know, it's not to really to denigrate him, because when he gets his changeup up like that, that's what you look for. When it's down and away, similar to the way he pitched against Nolan Ryan when he tried to win his 300 for the first time. He was, in fact, overpowering that night for him, striking out about 6 guys, but down in the strike zone, occasionally in, and that changeup, he just drops it on the outside part of the plate. That's the way it looks if you're a right-handed batter.
The former Yankee captain, Willie Randolph, the first time he has ever faced the pinstripes since he left the New York Yankees. And, you know, the heart's got to be beating even a little for this veteran tonight. Take a look at the coaches. Rene Lachman at third.
Yeah, we hope his heart's beating.
Yeah. Lansford over at first base, getting the sign. Dave McKay coaches at first. Willie Randolph's the DH in tonight's game. Played more games at second for the Yankees than anyone ever. 1,689 games as a starter for the Yankees at second base.
Yeah, with about 30 different shortstops.
Yeah, that's right.
Well, one year, in fact, 3 years ago, horrendous year. Everybody said, oh, he's finished. Lost his mobility, knee operations. It was just about 15 different shortstops that year.
That one to right field towards the line. Barfield on the fly in foul territory, will not catch up to it. Yankee bullpen down there. And the count will go to a ball and 2 strikes.
Yeah, when they acquired, the Oakland A's acquired Willie Randolph, I think a lot of people felt that they had solved some of the problems that had been affected by the fact that Tony Phillips went over to Detroit as a free agent, a guy that could play a number of positions. Hasn't really turned out that way. Randolph hasn't played that well, and that's why he's DHing tonight. Well, that, and of course the fact that Ricky Henderson is hurt. Gallego really taking his place at second because he's playing better in the field.
That results in this whole lineup being restructured offensively. Randolph 5 for 29 as a number 2 hitter, and Lansford with the hits 3 for 13 now in the leadoff spot. So these guys are hitting in positions that normally would not do if Rickey Henderson's in the lineup and leading it off. 2 balls, 2 strikes, nobody out. Tony La Russa, one eye on the scoreboard with the White Sox playing the doubleheader. Chicago winning the first game of the doubleheader against Texas, and they've got a rain delay in the second one. Haven't started it. 2-2. Check swing to protect himself. Played to second for 1. Relay Espinosa. They got him. A double play that shouldn't have happened. Kevin Maas, the first baseman, made a good throw to Espinosa, who relayed back to first, and they get to double up Willie Randolph.
Everybody talking about Kevin Maas' instincts at the plate right here. Now, this is why Randolph can't get out of the box. This is why the double play happens, at least the second part of the equation. The first part, Maas taking a very risky throw, gets the lead runner, and they double him up. LaPointe does his job covering the bag. Now, look at the throw by Espinosa. Good communication between Dave LaPointe, an easy double play that's going to make the first inning a little bit easier for him. Even Canseco is at the plate.
Nice coverage by Dave LaPointe as he broke to get over and stayed there. Jose Canseco. There you see the numbers on the big guy who's got the 34 home runs. One behind fielder starting the day. McGuire behind him with 28. And the big slugging percentage of .625 for Tony La Russa's ball club. Canseco first in the league in that department. LaPointe with 2 down, 2-0 delivery, 3-0.
Well, we talked so many times about waiting. Dave LaPointe makes it more difficult to wait than most pitchers. He just doesn't throw that hard.
Takes the strike on that one, 3-1.
Dave Henderson we saw on deck. So LaPointe right around 78 miles per hour. But I tell you what, Jeff Ballard, 18-game winner for the Orioles last year, did it throwing not much harder than 80.
And there's another floater in Canseco. You can see it. For the big guys like Canseco, you're looking at stuff between 70 and 78 miles an hour. That one on the radar gun was 71.
But there's the difference. 78 with a fastball, occasionally 80, 71 with a changeup.
Foul tipped, held onto, and he is gone. Dorsett, good job behind the plate, so despite a leadoff single, the A's are gone with only 3 coming up. There's the young man everybody's talking about, Kevin Maas, as we go to the top half of the second inning. 1 for 10 on the road trip, but watch this cut. They say if ever there was a swing designed for Yankee Stadium, this young man has it. Kevin Maas is delivering home runs at an incredible rate, better than anyone has ever done it. It's a little early on in his career to make much of that, but it's still happening. And it's outside for a ball. Take a look. Our mighty Maas design of the night. Home runs per at bat. Nobody does it better, as Carly Simon used to say. Maas won every 9 times up. And he's been working on pulling the baseball, because that's what he wants to do at home.
Well, we saw him against Olin Ryan, 2-0. Smashed it. I mean, a long drive to right field. And talking to the Yankees, he saw a lot of breaking balls up in Seattle.
There's a shot into right field for a base hit, and there's that nice swing. Canseco will play it back in.
Right, 2-1. Fastball. Stewart behind in the count, leadoff batter. He says, here, hit it. And Maas did that.
He does have a great swing.
Well, he does, and it is perfect for Yankee Stadium. I do think that the pitchers will adjust. You know, a guy like Stewart, he knows, very important, the first batter of an inning, so he's going to challenge him. How many, I mean, even when you are having an incredible start, as Kevin Maas is, how many times are you going to hit a home run? But he did have a home run swing.
So that's a couple of hits now off Dave Stewart. And Barfield, that one's in the dirt. Down to second base goes Maas. And that'll be chased back by Terry Steinbach. So that puts a runner in scoring position. Probably a wild pitch, although Steinbach looked like he had some trouble moving to his right to block that ball.
Yes, ball should have been smothered. Sharp breaking ball. But if you shift your weight properly, of course, he's not expecting it out there. It doesn't look like he picks up the spin. I mean, that ball may go as a wild pitch, but it'd be a very liberal one, is it?
It is. Catchers don't get many breaks.
Well, no, the mere fact that they're catching is a non-break.
1-0 count on Barfield. Lansford on the cut of the grass at third, and Barfield takes the breaking ball by Stewart. 1 ball and 1 strike. Yes, it is true. We mentioned at the end of the last inning, Dave Stewart has not given up an earned run in the last 19 innings now.
And I think if he's a realist, Ricky Henderson out of the lineup, he's going to try to pitch a shutout until he doesn't. And that means right here, maybe, I don't know if Barfield's going to try to get Moss to third base. He should, by hitting the ball the other way. Jesse more of a home run type of hitter. Strikes out a lot. But Dave Stewart knows that he is not going to get a lot of runs. Not like when Ricky Henderson's in the lineup.
Yeah. Runner at second base. Barfield banked off the plate on that one. 3-1. He has struck out 106 times. 324 at bats. Now that's a strikeout every 3.3 at bats. That's up there.
If you talk to him, he'll tell you it's the wrist injury that he had a couple of years ago. Lead hand so important when you're a hitter.
3-1 to him. That's good heat right there. Stewart throwing as hard as we've seen in the first couple of innings on that pitch. And the count is full. 3 balls and 2 strikes.
Yeah,
Yankees in every category are virtually last offensively. They're last in runs and last in average and fewest walks and strikeouts. They're way up there and all that. It's tough for them to score. And that one misses inside. It's been their problem all season. They're hoping the youngsters can help out. Stump Merrill's playing the youngsters. They've had as many as 7 rookies this season in Yankee uniforms playing. There are 3 starting in tonight's game, as we mentioned. And there you see, never on, never in. You got to get on to do something with it. And they don't do that.
Yeah, Orioles walking. They lead the major leagues 220 times more than the Yankees.
Yep.
70 more runs.
3-2, foul back.
Makes a big difference. I think the thing they missed the most, we'll have a chance to see the dimensions here at Oakland Alameda Stadium. It's a big ballpark. Runs down 12% over the last 5 years. Home runs 17%. No wonder Jose Canseco wants the fences moved in.
A lot of room in foul territory. 3-2 again with Moss at second base, and Barfield stays off it and draws the walk. So Barfield gets his 45th walk of the season. 2 on, nobody out. John Saunders.
The Brewers and the Royals in Kansas City. Second inning in game number 2. Dennis Powell to Kevin Seitzer. Pulls it down the left field line. Willie Wilson on third comes in. Kurt Stillwell was on second. He scores. Bob Boone all the way from first. Bases loaded triple. Back to Gary and Jim.
Jim Leyritz. Here's another one of the rookies. Leyritz, 26 years old. Started minor league ball in '86 with the Yankees. Last season played at Albany, not AAA Columbus. And Leyritz getting the shot at third base, where the Yankees have been looking for a position player. And the A's are looking for the bunt. They're in. Didn't show it. Ball 1.
No, did not show it. Dave Stewart not knowing whether you bunt. There's Carney Lansford in at third, so he threw a breaking ball. It's a pretty good pitch, because occasionally one of the toughest base running plays there is when a guy squares around and bunts through a ball, especially Kevin Moss, who does not run that well after knee surgery at second base. If you're a pitcher you don't know, you maybe throw a breaking ball. This is again with a fastball. 2-0.
Again, doesn't show the bunt, but again, Lansford and McGuire at first and third moving in. Well, he will check and see whether or not the bunt is going to be on. Stump Merrill, as we said, has been taking some chances. He's not been afraid to not go by that so-called book.
He's got to be, I wowould think, hitting away here. 2-0.
He is. It'll be back into the seats. 2 balls and 1 strike.
2 men on, nobody out. It's the perfect hitting situation. 2-0. I mean, you got to have a situation where you know you can look fastball.
Not getting him in very well, but that's true virtually for the entire Yankee team. Those runners in scoring position numbers are not good.
Well, you take a guy out of Double-A, bring him to the big leagues. And he also caught, so you put him in another position.
There he bunts by Stewart. No. Good play to third, and he got him. Carney Lansford takes the throw as Stewart almost didn't get the ball out of the glove.
I think also, too,
time,
yeah, Gary was waiting for Lansford, who was anticipating the bunt, to get back there. Got to the ball quickly. And he should have, because it was about a 2-hopper right back to him. You can see him right there. He shows bunt. Actually going the wrong way. Now he's waiting right here for Lansford to get back to the base. And Moss, running better than I thought, makes it fairly close. Perfect angle. Right there, Carney senses that Stewart's going to get the ball and throws him out. He was out by a step.
So that leaves runners at first and second base. Barfield on at second. Larrett's on at first. And Brian Dorsett takes the strike from Stewart. This is the Yankee catcher. Bob Guerin has taken over as the regular Yankee catcher, but he caught 11 in a row, so he's off tonight with a day game tomorrow. And so Dorsett, who is 29 years old, this is not a young ball player. He's been around the minor leagues, Cleveland organization in California, and then played AAA ball with the Yankees last year. See what he's done this season. As again this year, he was playing mostly AAA ball. Came up on July 27 at Columbus. He hit .277, 11 home runs and 56 RBIs for Brian Dorsett. 1-1 pitch to him, and Dorsett towards third. Carney Lansford, Gallego, double him up, and that's it. 2 on and nobody out, and the Yankees can do nothing with it as we go to the bottom of the second. Here, bottom of the second inning, couple of double plays, one for each team, helping out Stewart and LaPointe. And by the way, those San Diego Padres will be playing Houston on Sunday on our ESPN baseball game. I'll tell you about here. Tony La Russa looking on. Dave Henderson waiting on LaPointe. And Kendu takes it up high. Ball 1. The man we were talking about had the home run against the Orioles yesterday in a 5-2 win. He's been picking up the slack. And he does it again, leading it off with a single. Lead-off single in the second inning off LaPointe for Dave Henderson. Does he enjoy playing this game, folks? You don't see that smile disappear very often, I'll tell you that much.
Yeah, well, he put it very graphically in the paper. I won't tell you exactly what the quote was, but he said when you stink the first half, you better have a good second half if you want to have a good year.
Well, he's hit safely now in 11 of his last 12.
Well, when you... It's not that we've already told you that LaPointe is not a very a stuff pitcher. He's a control pitcher. When he makes bad pitches and you're hot, you're going to see a good swing, and that's exactly what happened. Change up in the strike zone, line drive.
Terry Steinbach against LaPointe, and the pitch is in there for a strike. Steinbach, Ron Hasse doing the catching for the Oakland A's, and he's checking down at third base with Rene Lachemann. The sign, you see Dorsett looking over to the Yankee dugout to check, see if anything's on here. Should be 2. Espinosa sacks. That's as easy as it gets. Taylor May double play, and the A's, who hit into a lot of them last year, have hit into one in each of the first 2 innings here. Stump full like that. 2 down.
Reminds me a little more of a guy that used to pitch here, Kenny Holtzman, because he's an upright pitcher. They throw you the fastball, but also throw you the changeup. You're out in front, and you don't go the other way. And Dave Henderson, he knows if you try to come in hard there, as he talks to Sachs, the next time he'll get you right in the forehead.
Between the eyeballs. 2 down, Mark McGwire.
See, even he knew it was the tailor-made double
right.
play.
I ain't getting too close to second base. Mark McGwire, the average is low. The RBIs are up, 71. And so are the home runs, because that's what this club lives and dies by. Great pitching and power. That's the Oakland A's. You may not believe it, but these Oakland A's are 12th in the league in average. 12th. They are hitting just .253 as a team, but they are 4th in runs.
Second in home runs, right behind Toronto.
That's why. And McGuire's right up there with him. Fielder with 35, Canseco 34, and McGwire 28 in the home run department, and McGuire's 4th in RBIs with 71.
Yeah, this is a good matchup. I think that the reason his average is so low is the fact that he doesn't really hit the overpowering fastball. LaPointe does not have that.
Again, the timing, trying to catch up to Dave LaPointe. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Patience is the key. LaPointe 3-3 lifetime against the Oakland A's. 79 wins, 82 losses in his career. 2-2. How about 8 teams, 8 years for Dave LaPointe? The only team he's not beaten in the major leagues is Kansas City.
Right. Trying to be what? One of 9 pitchers that have done it?
Yeah.
Well, it won't happen tonight, will it?
No, it won't happen tonight. Unless they've changed the venue on us. 3-2, 2 down. Nobody on, no score. And McGwire is on with a walk. And that is something he's been doing a lot of. 2 down. McGwire trots down to first base. We told you this Sunday right here on ESPN, the Houston Astros will be taking on Tony Gwynn and the San Diego Padres. Sunday Night Baseball at 8 o'clock right here on ESPN. The Padres, are they doing what they always do? Get out of it and then win? And the Astros are taking a look at who's going to be there next year. Felix Jose in a slump right now in an 0 for 9 with a runner at first and 2 away, outside by LaPointe.
If you talk to Tony La Russa, and he said, you know, how do you miss Dave Parker with 22 home runs, 95 RBIs last year? He starts rationalizing by saying, well, Felix Jose is playing very well in left field. His average was up to 270 after hovering around 240 for most of the year. He's only 23, young player that hits from both sides and has played real well in the field. I can now that Parker's not the DH, I can rest my guys and DH him, but I think they miss Parker's bat and the RBIs.
Who wouldn't with that?
A lot of people don't think they're as good a ball club this year, but one strength is their pitching, especially the bullpen.
They are #1 in that department, and of course with Eckersley leading the league in saves with 37, but a lot of middle people who get the job done in middle relief. 3-0 count now, and it of course is taken by Felix Jose. 283 right-handed and 256 left for this switch hitter. He's got a 3-1 count on him.
I think he's going to be a good player. Good tools. Looks like he can run a little bit. Good outfielder.
And Dave LaPointe, after getting the double play now, has walked a couple. McGuire goes down to second base. Felix Jose goes down to first. And there are 2 on 2 away for Walt Weiss. As they position the fielders here and how they want to play it, drawing the outfield in. Dave LaPointe has now walked 45 in 124 innings pitched. He doesn't walk many, doesn't strike out many, as you would expect from a guy who relies on the off-speed stuff and as a control pitcher.
Already 2 pivotal plays. The LaPointe walking these 2 guys with 2 outs, and Dave Stewart, the Yankees not being able to take advantage of the sacrifice situation, allowed him to get out of the inning with a double play.
Weiss underneath that one. Third baseman couldn't see it. Didn't matter. Azokar's over there. Makes the catch. Nice play by Oscar Azokar, who was over in that bullpen area and had to come across the home plate part of it. 2 are left on. Three sellouts for this 3-game series against the New York Yankees here at the Oakland Alameda County Coliseum. This is a Coliseum. Did you know that?
Yes.
Yeah, I learned that
I did
tonight.
until I listened to you earlier.
Espinoza takes the pitch for a strike. I always call this place a stadium, but it's a Coliseum.
Me too.
Do the Gladiators come in here?
I think I called it a Coliseum on Tuesday night when I was here, but
but I missed
a couple hours with you.
Take care of it. The third, Lansford was in, gloves it. Espinosa's out of there, 1 away in the 3rd inning. John Saunders in our Baseball Tonight studios, keeping us up to date on what's going on. John?
George Brett is on fire. 3 runs batted in last night, 4 in game #1 of the doubleheader, and here's another one in game 2. Scoring Pacoda, George Brett now has 9 hits in his last 12 at-bats. Kansas City up 6-0. Back to Gary and Jim.
You know, the New York Yankees will keep an eye on that game a bit because they got a chance to get out of the cellar. Milwaukee really struggling. They've fallen down to within a game and a half of being in last place. The Yankees would dearly love to get out of that. The way the season's gone would almost make it a successful year for the Yankees.
I think what they're thinking about is what the White Sox were able to do last year, second half. You did, of course, did their games 37 and 36. Some of the guys that were injured came back. I don't know if Mattingly will be back this year, but we'll talk about that later. Chance to see some of the youngsters get a new direction, and I think that's what the Yankees are pointing to.
Roberto Kelly, who's 0 for his last 12 against Dave Stewart with an 0-2. See you later. Stewart gets the strikeout. That's 110 strikeouts for Stewart on the season now, and that'll be the second of the ball game with quickly 2 down.
The old backup breaking ball. You expect it to break as a hitter, and it does, but very late.
Stewart's got a chance for a very quick inning. 2 down and nobody on. No score. Each team with a couple of hits. Kelly takes his seat. Something Roberto Kelly's been working on this season is not striking out, staying off the bad pitches. Kelly has struck out, though, 106 times. To short. Surprised he was first ball hitting. Good play by Walt Weiss. Because with Sachs doing that, it's a real quick inning. Stewart retires the Yankees in order.
Blue Jays losing earlier tonight. The Boston Red Sox with a chance to push their lead in the East to 3 games, but Dana Kicker in trouble early, facing Omar Vizquel, pulls it out to right field. It scores Edgar Martinez. It's now a 3-0 game. You can see the Red Sox against the A's Tuesday night at 10:30. Let's get back to Gary and Jim.
Seattle Ball Club is one of the franchises that's really turning things around. That's exciting up there right now under their new ownership. They've done a heck of a job in Seattle. The fans are turning out. Players are responding. It's a franchise to watch.
Going with a lot of young players like the Yankees.
Yeah. Here's Mike Gallego against Dave LaPointe, and everybody's first ball hitting. It's fouled off down the line. Strike one. Gallego has had just 1 hit in his last 12 times to the plate, working at second base. As Jim was mentioning earlier, Tony La Russa loves to talk about the versatility he has in the infield. With Randolph out of there, Gallego moves over to second. He can pull Walt Weiss out of there at times, put Gallego at short. Even Carney Lansford can move around if he has to and go over to first base. La Russa loves to do that, get everybody involved. 0-1 is up high, 1-1.
Well, you loved him last year, too, with a 24-man roster until they expanded the roster because he could play shortstop and plays it well. Weiss out with a knee problem last year. Gallego hit a little bit better than this year and also made all the plays at shortstop.
A great utility ball player. And he does a pretty good job bottom part of that order. He is struggling this season, batting at just 208.
Well, if you look at the line, the way they defensively line up against him, very shallow in the outfield. You know, last year, great at the beginning of the year. And then what happened was the fact that they started defensing a little bit differently. A little bit like a lot of hitters that just don't hit the ball well the other way. I mean, you don't want to play this guy deep in the off field. No reason to.
You lose 100 feet in the outfield. The guys are in so close, and that's what Dave LaPointe did not want to do against the number 9 hitter. And that's 3 walks now given up by LaPointe in this game. And it's a leadoff walk. The leadoff man's been on in all 3 innings against Dave LaPointe. Don't forget the doubleheader coming up on Tuesday here on ESPN. You will see San Francisco, Philadelphia. Kevin Mitchell surging away. San Francisco trying to hang in. And Boston, Oakland. Is that the playoff game? That'll be the second half of the doubleheader starting 7:30 Tuesday right here on ESPN. Carney Lansford singled his first time up. LaPointe will hold the base runner Gallego on with Kevin Maas holding the bag. And we should talk about the man who's not there, Don Mattingly. Not on the trip. Maybe going to the outfield when he gets back. That bad back has just troubled him all year. Lansford, after the breaking ball, doesn't get it. 0-1. They think maybe, he thinks maybe, moving himself to the outfield will take some pressure off the back.
It could. I just think that one of the problems that Mattingly has is that he's such a hard worker. I mean, he could go 4 for 4, and the next day he's going to go out there and take extra hitting. I mean, that's the type of guy he is. And when, of course, you're an infielder, to be the type of guy that's going to win a perennial Gold Glove, you got to take a lot of grounders.
Another breaking ball by LaPointe. Lansford out in front of it, and it's 0-2 on the leadoff hitter tonight for the A's. LaPointe with a strikeout, 3 walks, and that's what he's thrown.
Not good. Not for a control pitcher. Especially, you mentioned it, the 3 walks. He will not run here, but Lansford can handle the bat. Well, he naturally hits the ball the other way between first and second.
0-2 count on him, and again turns that baby over and down and away.
3 in a row, Gary, and if you're sitting at home, you say, how can a guy not look for that pitch? Well, the reason you can't look for it because you don't think it's a changeup. Fast arm motion, the same motion as he throws with the fastball. And we've already showed you that the changeup's around 71 miles per hour and the fastball is 78. So it's not very fast, but there's a difference. There's a disparity between the 2 pitches and a very occasional curveball to go with those 2.
2 strikeouts now for LaPointe, 1 away. Gallego still at first. Willie Randolph takes it up high. Was old home week for Willie Randolph, greeting former teammates. Stump Merrill, the manager of the New York Yankees.
Boy, was he an annoying hitter. Up in the strike zone, you could book it that he'd hit it to right center or left center. Not a whole lot of home runs. Could steal a base before the knee problem.
And a quality guy. Just figured that when his availability became known that it would be the Oakland A's who would pick him up. He just fits in on this team. Willie Randolph working against LaPointe with a 1-0 count and 1 away. Remember, the A's have hit into a double play in each of the first 2 innings. And LaPointe get another ground ball with Gallego at first. 1-0, no.
you talk to Tony La Russa, he will tell you he does not want to be known as a manager. If you look at Gallego and Dave McKay over at First with a little conference, as a manager you can predict. So Willie Randolph not hitting well, only hitting .245, but what do you want to do if a manager? Maybe give him a little bit better chance by starting the runner. That's what he did so well with the Yankees. He could lead off for you, perennial league leader in walks when he played for the Yankees. Pitch the ball the other way well, and if you make him hit the ball the other way, that means he's going to wait a little longer for LaPointe's deliveries.
World champions bench. They've hit into 80 ground ball double plays this season, well below what they did last year. They've made a vast improvement on staying out of that situation this year. Look out. Runner goes. Throw down. He's going to go back to first base and get there. Gallego started, realized he was out by about 80 feet, so he turned around and went back, and the ball ends up going into shallow left field. And Gallego stays at first.
Well, that was supposed to be a run and hit,
Yeah.
but LaPointe threw it so out of character. I mean, look where this ball is. I think Willie swung at it. I don't know if the umpire is going to call it.
Steve Sachs
No,
had
he
to go
says
off the
no.
glove. Look at Gallego. I think Sachs didn't catch that ball because he was looking at Gallego himself. He couldn't believe he was turning around going back.
Yeah, Don Denkinger behind the plate asking John Shulak, who you could see shaking his head, what is the count? Did he swing or didn't he?
They say no, so it's 3-0. And there's the strike, 3-1. But you're right, he was trying to protect the runner with a pitch on his head.
Now, if you look at the scoreboard, you see no runs, 2 hits for each ball club. That should have been an error. An out should have been recorded there, and it wasn't.
That's well, probably an error on Sachs for not catching that ball. If you're going to charge
I would
somebody.
say so, yes. Of course, you can't assume. I think you could assume when the guy's stuck between first and second.
Right center field. Barfield comes over and wants it. Calls off Kelly. Makes the catch. Gallego goes back, and Randolph's retired. He's 0 for 2. Gallego at first base, talking to Dave McKay, the first base coach. 2 down.
The batter, right fielder,
Jose Canseco. See Duncan walk by La Russa. His coaching staff under La Russa, they spend a lot of time talking to one another before, during, and after games. Jose, second in RBIs in the league with 82. Second in home runs with 34. 2 down. A runner at first, no score. Strike 1.
I don't think he's healthy. Really has not been swinging the bat. I saw him Tuesday night. They really got the ball in on him. And when you talk to Merv Redmond, the batting instructor, he said that's where he really likes the ball when he's healthy.
It's the back.
Yeah, when your back hurts you, it limits you, especially when you have the type of bat speed that Jose. Nobody in baseball has better bat speed.
Speed and power. Get under that one. Shallow center field. Espinosa, the shortstop. Look out, Kelly calls him off. Espinosa got there, but Kelly's got the right to take it and does. So despite a leadoff walk, nothing across. Zokar will lead it off against Stewart as we go to the third. And fouls it off. Not many numbers up there. 0-2-0 for the Yankees. 0-2-0 for the A's. As the pitcher's dominating here with Carney Lansford going after it. Zokar struck out his first time up. Zokar's had 97 at-bats, no walks, 7 strikeouts. He's hitting .320 and has an on-base percentage of just under .320.
Well, that's why we saw the team on-base percentage under 30%. Of course, he has hit .344 from this side.
Towards the hole. Cut off. Weiss. Got him.
Well, Dave Stewart will tell you the one thing that you can bank on. He's going to be out there about 36, 37 times. And the other thing is a outstanding defense. Walt Weiss last year missed about 60 games with a knee problem. Said he looked like he was playing with 2 left feet. He made 15 errors in 83 games. Said it was an awful year. This year, only 5 errors.
What a great play.
I don't know if too many shortstops with better range in the American League.
Then he gets to it, and then you got to throw the ball when you go into its first base as it's fouled off by Hall, the designated hitter. The A's are 3rd in fielding percentage this season. Baltimore and Toronto ahead of them. And Walt Weiss, one of the reasons you make that kind of play. That's a leadoff single that isn't.
Oh, yeah, it'd be a perfect situation for the Yankees. You got Hall coming up. Zokar at first, you'd had a big hole.
But none of that. Popped up. Third base. Carney Lansford. Little Willie Mays makes the basket catch. And there are 2 down here in the 4th inning. Great to have you with us. Gary Thorne, Jim Palmer, Oakland Alameda County Stadium. First game of the weekend set. The Yankees and the Oakland A's playing 3. Sellout crowds for all of them. And a good one underway here with Stewart and LaPointe going at it. And with 2 down and nobody on, here's Kevin Maas, who had the single his first time up.
We'll see how Stewart pitches him this time with 2 outs. Stewart now throwing 14 strikes in a row. He may throw 15, but I doubt if it'll be a fastball. 2-0. He crushed one to right field for a single. Well, it was a fastball right on the corner.
Not going to hit that one. If he's got a hole, Jim, from what you've seen of Kevin Maas, where is it?
Well, I think it's a breaking ball. You know, I mean, if you throw your fastball at 90 miles per hour, 89, 91, as Stewart's been all night on the inside corner, you're going to get just about anybody out.
He got a hold of this one to right, but not deep enough. What a cut!
Oh, he's got a classic swing. This is a classic major league out.
Canseco makes the catch, but you got to see why they love watching Kevin Maas swing. I certainly got to take the opportunity to say congratulations on the induction, even though you had to wait for a rain delay.
Oh, yeah, it was great. I mean, we didn't even get to play the game up there at the Coliseum in Cooperstown. No, it was a great weekend. And to hang around with guys like Stan Musial, Ted Williams, former commissioner, Happy Chandler of baseball, it was a special. I mean, Warren Spahn, I said, gee, you know, you won 353 games. He said, no, it was 363. I said, so I'll tell everybody it was 373. When you get up that high, who knows?
I'll tell you, he was something else. That's great. Great honor. And ESPN delighted to have the chance to work with both of them, Joe Morgan and Jim Palmer. As we go to the bottom half of 4th.
Excuse me, but Joe, a native.
Yeah.
Surprised he wasn't here tonight. I know he did send the clubhouse guy out to get an autographed ball. 4 days with him in Cooperstown. He didn't get one.
Henderson out in front of the LaPointe pitch. Silo shot at the plate. Dorsett ran into Henderson and makes the catch. Dave Anderson in the batter's box didn't know where the ball was and almost got tangled up with Dorsett, enough for Dorsett to have to kind of push him out of the way. Dorsett takes a little what for from Terry Steinbach, the opposing catcher. Watch this.
See, Dave Henderson knows that in foul territory. It's one of those, when they come down, you know you're going back to the dugout.
It's a heavyweight pushing match right there. The couple of big guys. Terry Steinbach up. He hit into double play his first time up. These pitchers are getting away with throwing strikes and getting it done in a hurry. Stewart has thrown only 6 pitches in the last 2 innings, each of them. And now you see LaPointe, their first ball hitting LaPointe. He's throwing strikes. So they're not throwing a lot of pitches, and they're getting the job done. The 0-1, foul back, 0-2.
It reminds me a lot of Scotty McGregor, because McGregor, when he was with the Orioles, in fact, came up with the Yankee organization, traded over with a massive trade in 1976. Very rarely threw a curveball. That's what Dave LaPointe does. Mostly fastball, mostly changeup. Get you out in front. Once should hit the ball. Wants to minimize the amount of pitches he has to throw.
And that hit him. Steinbach takes the cheapie on that one, but that's okay because it gets him on base. Has just barely nicked him that time. So with 1 away, that puts Steinbach on, and LaPointe will face Mark McGwire. You see David saying, how can you do that, Steinbach? How can you take that?
Well, didn't really try to get out of the way, which is what the rule book says. There's Terry not hitting what he'd like at 240 coming into tonight's ball game. And this sets up a good situation for the Oakland A's, because now LaPointe may feel he has to pitch to McGwire. He walked him his first time up. You can see by the graphic.
And he has 10 walks in his last 8 games for Mark McGwire.
Yeah, he's 1 for 9, but it's still walking. Reminds me of Randy Milligan for the Orioles. Been in a slump and leads the majors in walks.
So the on-base percentage doesn't look bad.
Nope.
McGwire, as far as walks are concerned, is 3rd behind Milligan and Tettleton of Baltimore. A 1-0 count on him, 1 down, no score. Bottom of the 4th inning, LaPointe. This is outside with that, and the count is 2 balls and no strikes. This is an ideal double play situation if he can get a ground ball. That's the hit batter on Steinbach, who just off the sleeve.
Yeah, it didn't remind you of the quite good hitting Tommy Herr that precipitated a fight, or actually Gooden getting hit by
way off. 3-0. That was quite the brouhaha. That Philadelphia and the Mets have every series have been involved in brawls this year, and they went at it real good yesterday.
Well, Gooden only missed by about 4 feet when he plugged her.
3-0. Not even close. LaPointe giving nothing to McGuire. Now there are runners on at first and second with 1 away, and that's 2 walks for McGuire, 4 given up by Dave LaPointe. That's a very high number for Dave LaPointe in walks, and he now faces Felix Jose, who also walked his first time up, hitting .261. 3 have been left on by Oakland, 1 in scoring position. The Yankees have left a couple, 1 in scoring position. Here's one of the better chances for either team to get an inning going. First ball swung on, fouled off, so you see LaPointe hasn't lost the strike zone. He just didn't want to give it to McGuire.
Well, that was a ball, and that's part of being disciplined against a soft thrower. You know, do you move up in the box when the ball's not getting there as quickly? Do you really make a concentrated effort against a guy like LaPointe to hit the ball to right field? Well, that's what they say they do. You know, hitters will come back after you swing way out in front like Lansford did for 3 times, and yet it's just real tough to do it because of the arm motion.
Foul back again, and he's taking the big cut, which against LaPointe can get you back to the bench in a hurry, and the count is no balls, 2 strikes on the 24-year-old Felix Jose. Don't forget, ESPN gives you all the highlights, news and views, replays every night. Baseball Tonight right here on ESPN, keeping you up to date on this major league season. 0-2 count, 1 away, runners on at first and second. Jose has struggled here at home this season, and that .261 average has mostly come on the road, where he's batting .312. Here at the Coliseum, he's hitting only .219. 0-2. Oh, mama, LaPointe owned him. That's the 3rd strikeout. Now there are 2 down, 2 on.
Well, you wonder why McGuire walks so much?
That's why.
Jose hitting right behind him. Who are you going to pitch to? The guy that hits 49, 33, and 32 home runs, or the rookie? I think I choose the rookie.
It's a good point, Jim, because one of the things Oakland's had to work on this season is filling this spot in the lineup behind McGuire. They've had 4 or 5 players who've been up, and they still haven't got it filled. And that's why it hurts right there in this situation. Take a bat out of McGuire's hand, and the next batter up's not getting the job done. Walt Weiss with 2 down and 2 on. Steinbach at second, McGuire at first base. Weiss, who's hitting .270. Takes the strike. 1-1.
19 points higher from the other side. Both home runs from the other side. Said he did not want to be known just as a glove man.
Take that honor. There the baseman is. 1-1. 1 ball, 2 strikes. You look at the Oakland different points in the batting order and what they're hitting. The number 6 spot this season, just a .201 batting average, and that spot has had a lot of people in it, including Felix Jose, more than anyone else. And they're not getting production out of that spot, which is actually that and the number 9 spot, batting only .190, are the 2 places where they haven't had much production. They'll take the number 9, but really need somebody up there in that order. 2-2. Dave LaPointe turning with a 2-2 count, 2 down. One of the best senses of humor in baseball. Number 42 of the Yankees, Dave LaPointe. Two delivered. That's going to be a base hit into right field for Walt Weiss, making the turn. Steinbach. Here's the throw to the plate, way over the head. LaPointe backing it up, and a run scores. Jesse Barfield on corked one. Dorsett had no chance. LaPointe backed it up and caught it in the air. Steinbach scoring, and it's 1-0 A's.
We talked earlier about the fact that they should have had a runner caught in a rundown. Barfield, one of the finer throwing arms in all of baseball, easily would have thrown out Steinbach if he makes a good throw. To it quickly, under control, but just does not get it down. Dorsett about 6'3". He can't reach it. Steinbach scores the first run right there to back him up is Dave LaPointe, so the runners will stay at first and second. Should have been out at the plate.
Nice job by Walt Weiss, who picks up his 28th RBI. And again, talking about A's who come through when you need them. There's Walt Weiss doing it.
Well, hitting .250, about career average. This year, .270, and getting the big hits at the right time.
Now Gallego the opportunity with McGuire at second base and Walt Weiss on at first. And it's the hit batter, Steinbach, who took that little nicking and didn't move out of the way to get on with one away, who scores the run.
Weiss also waiting and going the other way. Just pinged it into right field.
The 1-0 to Gallego makes it a 1-ball 1-strike count.
Stewart already with 3 shutouts, and he has settled down. One bad inning. Yankees didn't get the runners over on the bunt. That may be all he needs, the way he's pitching.
Stewart waiting and watching. He's thrown only 12 pitches in the last 2 innings. Looking for his 16th win. 1-1. LaPointe misses up high. 2-1 to Gallego with Carney Lansford, the leadoff man, waiting on deck.
We talked about how spacious this ballpark is, but also a great mound. You feel like you're on top of the hitter here, really, because I think it's so far to home plate. It's not like you see the periphery parts of the ballpark that close. The hitter and you.
And LaPointe misses again up high. 3 balls and 1 strike. He does not want to let Gallego go, and that's why he is unhappy. And he's not real keen on Dankinger's calls of the strike zone right now.
Well, if he expects to get high strikes, he's got the wrong umpire. And that's not because Denkinger is not a good umpire. He just does not. You don't see a lot of high strikes anymore.
3-1. Foul tipped into the mitt. 3-2.
The reason why, watch Don get down on that one knee. Durwood Merrill, one of the few guys that I see, he's out at third base tonight. One of the few guys that umpires over the top. Most umpires, National League and American League, there's Durwood. They get down on one knee as the pitch, sit on the inside shoulder of the catcher. Sometimes guess at the outside corner, even though they'll tell you they got a pretty good vision of it. But watch Denkinger. He'll get down. He's got to look across.
Runners go, and it's fouled off. 3-2. Yeah, that's. I was trying to think of somebody else who does that. I can't even think of another one besides Durwood Merrill, who still gives the touch straight up behind the catcher. Look.
Most umpires will tell you the top of their strike zone is right where their eyes, the level of their eyes. Anything, of course, lower, then they have to discern whether it's below the knees or right on the knees. That is why the strike zone of the American League has come down. A couple of high ball umpires still left.
3-2, 2 away. Runners go. Swung on and fouled off again by Gallego. So Gallego battling here on LaPointe. Gallego, 32 strikeouts. Contact hitter. Even though he's got just the 208 average. Weiss and McGuire getting their exercise in. 1-0 lead. The A's with a run in here in the bottom of the 4th. Nobody covering the bag at second.
This Gallego hitting 208 coming in. He's hitting 255 with 2 outs. So yeah, that experience of playing last year has helped him this year.
Full count. Runners going. 3rd time he fouls it back.
Yeah, he hits one up the gap in left center. Both runs are going to score. Shifted around to right field. Very shallow in right field is Barfield. Zokar deep in left. Kelly pretty shallow in center.
4th time for the 3-2 pitch by LaPointe to Gallego. 5 and counting.
What you hope, excuse me, as a hitter is that he will make a mistake with a fastball. That's what you'll look for, and maybe you'll be a little late on that, and if he hangs a changeup, you'll be right on it. Even with Dave LaPointe with 2 strikes, you have to look fastball. Otherwise, that fastball will look about 100 miles per hour.
3-2 again. 6 foul balls.
Well, he's not reaching back and getting anything. He got it all the way up to 79 there.
That's all the way up there, though, for Dave.
Well, from 77, 78, I guess it is.
Stump Merrill leaning out. Billy Connors next to him, pitching coach.
About 400 home runs to his left, Darrell Evans,
who's been credited with a great job working with Kevin Moss on getting him to pull the ball. Evans, the hitting instructor, has done a heck of a job with the rookie. Here we go again. 7th time. 3-2. Popped him up. Second base. Sachs backing up. And LaPointe wins the battle, but it wasn't easy. A run in, just 1 hit, and 2 left on. He finally misses one. He'd thrown 16 consecutive strikes before he puts that one outside here in the top half of the 5th inning. Stewart got that one by Jesse Barfield. A ball and a strike. Barfield, Larritz, and Dorsett coming up here. Barfield, who has drawn the only walk given up by Stewart, who's given up only 55 on the year. 1-1. 1-2. For the Oakland A's here at home this season, they've won 35 games. They have the exact same record on the road and away. They are 35 and 21. Both home and away.
They're going to be the best best away record of any team.
It is. Nobody's won more on the road, and the same was true last year. The Oakland A's had the best record on the road last season. 1-2 count. See you later. That's 3 by Stewart. He just buried that one on the outside corner. Let's check in with John Saunders.
The Orioles in Anaheim to face the Angels. Pete Harnisch facing Max Venable. And he turns on this one, pulls it out to right field for the home run. A reminder, next Friday at 7:30, you can see the Orioles and the A's here on Baseball Tonight. Let's rejoin Gary and Jim.
They also have gotten that second game underway in Chicago, Texas and Chicago, with the White Sox winning first game of the doubleheader. They're now in the second inning of the second game, no score. That matters as far as this game's concerned, of course, with Oakland and the White Sox battling for first place. Jim Larritz up and takes the pitch up high for a ball. 1-0 A's. Third baseman Carney Lansford looks like he's in the bottom of the 9th inning. He's almost standing on the line.
I think that's unusual. Usually play a guy. My opinion. I'll tell you what I think about playing the line, whether it's the 1st or the 9th. You ought to play where he's going to hit it. Maybe he thinks he's going to hit it. I would think that's unusual. Larritt's a line drive hitter. Last year, Double-A batting champ.
2-2.
Late on every fastball. Why would you be playing over there? You anticipate a hanging curveball?
The hole at short's enormous because Walt Weiss has moved over towards second base. So he's got that hole left side of the infield literally to poke one through on. You won't see Weiss for a while. Look how far you got to go. Where is he? There he is.
Well, I'm sure he's leaning to his left.
Got him. Won't matter anyway. Stewart comes back inside, and 2 strikeouts in a row, 4 in the game. And there are 2 down. Both called third strikes.
He is a strikeout pitcher only really when he really needs to. Larritt's just not knowing the strike zone. One of the 3 non-roster players that we're seeing tonight. I mean, the amazing thing about these guys, they are really playing well. And if you take Larritt's, Lazokar, and Moss, they're hitting .288 with 19 home runs, 45 RBIs. All non-roster players were not on their 40-man roster over the winter.
That's amazing. Dorsett takes the pitch outside for a ball.
I don't know. Amazing. Why? Well, I think it's because they have the infatuation with named players in New York. I mean, Hal Morris. Check out Cincinnati. Yeah, they make the big trade. Tim Leary. Hal Morris is now a regular with the Cincinnati Reds.
1-0 delivery with 2 away. Breaking ball. Misses up high. We're talking about names like Claudell Washington on the DL. Interesting quote from him. All these rookies up here. He was asked, when you come back, where are you going to be able to play? He said, I didn't have a place to play when I went on the DL, so I'm not going to have one when I get back either. Not a happy camper. 2-0. Swung on and missed. 2-1.
Well, Rick Cerrone. I said, are you on rehab? What are you doing here? I thought you were on rehab. He said, well, I was already on rehab, and I can't even play. Morrison catching. Guerin. You know, Matt Noakes occasionally came over from the Tigers.
2-1, 2-2.
Yeah. Well, that would have tied this game up. with contact. But that's the one thing you got to do if you're a pitcher. 2-1, and we talked about the stuff he had in the World Series. He got behind some of the best hitters in baseball. He is not afraid to take advantage of that good defense, make them put the ball in play. Occasionally it'll backfire.
2-2 with 2 down and nobody on, and it's foul back. Stewart's trying to go 23 innings without having an earned run picked off him. Sunday night, the San Diego Padres and the Houston Astros, 8 o'clock Eastern time here on ESPN. And you'll have a chance to see the Astros and maybe take a look at what they're going to do in the future. And the San Diego Padres, with all those names and all that money, not in first place. Strikes the side out. 5 strikeouts in the game, 3 in the 5th inning for Stewart, who's dominating. That's 11 in a row retired. A's 55-9 when they get the first run in the game, and they've done it here, and they take advantage of their runs. New York Yankees have given up a lot of runs that haven't scored a lot, and here's the difference right here. You look at the graphic here, the run differential in Major League, the leaders are the Mets, then come the Oakland A's. That's the difference between what you score and what you give up. And you look at the Yankees, they're not last, but they're next to last. Ready to go, and it's swung on in the line for the base hit into left center field. Carney Lansford gets his second single. The leadoff batter's on to lead off the 5th inning. And for the A's, that'll be hit number 4 off Dave LaPointe. That's 4 of the 5 innings that the leadoff man's been on base. Tough way to pitch.
Sure is. One of the great numbers in baseball. Leadoff guy gets on 50 to 51% of the time he scores. To get the first guy out, it's down to 16.
It's a number a pitcher would know.
Well, that's exactly what Dave Stewart said. He said that's part of the concentration. Knowing how important, as you look, whether it's pitching the batters 7, 8, 9 versus the Ricky Henderson, Canseco type of guys, they're all outs. That first batter is just as important as the third.
1-0 A's lead, and a chance for an inning against LaPointe. Randolph squares to bunt, throw to first. Rifle arm by Dorsett, but not in time to Kevin Maas. Lansford diving back in.
Throws well, not as good as Bob Guerin, who you talked about earlier, throwing over 40% of runners out. Of course, if you're a pitcher, you can really help out your catcher. Lansford most likely won't be going anywhere by himself. Might see a hit and run again.
They were looking for the bunt, and a good one. Maas at first going to have to go nowhere. Just got it there, but not in time. Sachs was covering, but Maas couldn't get it out of his glove, and Willie Randolph is on with Lansford going down to second base.
Well, you mentioned it earlier about the fact that Mattingly may go to the outfield. Not only does he not get out of his glove, if he stays lower to the ground, if he catches his ball and pivots low. Now watch him straighten up. Look how much time that takes. An awkward throw. Mattingly, of course, he's won a lot of Gold Gloves. Would have taken the throw and the ball a little bit lower, stayed low, and just made the shovel throw. Most likely gotten the out. And that's very important in a 1-0 ball game.
Runners at first and second. What do they call that? A fielder's choice? They haven't given him a hit yet. They give him a base hit. All right.
A what?
A base hit. It's not up on the board yet, but that was the announcement.
How can that be a base hit other than the scorer gave it to him?
Sacrifice and an error, maybe.
I guess that was an extraordinarily difficult play. Out of the norm.
Jose Canseco's 0 for 2, but he's dangerous right here. And it's a strike by LaPointe. Jose leaning out over the plate, didn't think so. 0-1 on Canseco. Well, LaPointe's working in a tough situation. A 1-0 ball game with Stewart mowing the Yankees down. He's going to face the meat of the A's order with Dave Henderson on deck.
And with runners at first and second, he can't pitch around anybody. It was something he's been doing quite frequently tonight.
Jammed him, and he popped him up. Silo shot again. Dorsett turning on it. Makes the catch in foul territory. Canseco's out of there. That'll bring up Henderson and John Saunders.
The White Sox and the Rangers, Nolan Ryan looking for career win number 301, but Craig Graybeck, his first major league home run. Now, Ozzie Guillen also has his first home run of this season. So it's 4-0. Nolan Ryan is down. Let's get back to Gary and Jim.
How incredible are the White Sox? Won the first game, winning the second. What a year.
Good
Dave
year.
Henderson.
Yeah, they've done a lot of things well.
Eric Plunk in the bullpen for the Yankees. 2-on. Lansford at second, Randolph at first. 277 for Henderson on the season, and a pitch out. Why?
Well, because his control's been so superlative tonight. Well, no, I mean, I say that facetiously. I don't know why. Dorsett maybe just having that feeling that Lansford may run. Of course,
Call from the bench.
12, yeah, well, I would hope so.
1-0 count.
Otherwise, Dorsett better hit a lot of home runs.
Way out in front of it. 1 ball, 1 strike. Is he turning that pitch over? That looks like that thing's going down. It looks like a screwball.
Well, it's a dead fish. It's a palm ball that, yeah, he might turn it over a little bit so it'll run away. But I think what you try to do in a changeup, some way you got to have a reference point. When I used to throw my changeup, I would almost try to drop it on home plate. And that's what it looks like when he throws a good one. It does. Again, the arm action. You know, the arm is so quick, you think it's the same arm speed as the fastball. Ball just gets there about 7 or 8 miles per hour slower.
That one did. You saw Henderson smile as LaPointe's working on him here. 2-1. Gave him the dead fish away, then straightens him up with his fastball at 74 miles an hour inside, and Hindu just smiles back out at him.
You know, the greatest guy I ever saw with a changeup from this area, Stu Miller. He could swing a couple of times and the ball still hadn't arrived.
I remember those. Runner goes from second to third. Throw by Dorsett. He's safe. Carney Lansford. Well, the Yankees knew something we didn't. Carney Lansford's got a stolen base. Randolph was not running at first.
Because if he was, that's where Dorsett should have thrown the ball. Of course, he wasn't, so he takes the lead runner. Again, when do you run? You have to, as a catcher, throw over the hitter. A changeup takes a little bit longer to get to the plate. 13th time for Carney Lansford. He's been thrown out 11 times.
Now he's at third with 1 away. The double play still in order here with Randolph at first and 1 away. Henderson with a 3-1 count on him. Dorsett, see him looking over. He's getting the sign. I don't know if the bench is calling the pitches, but they certainly are calling pitch outs. No pitch out here. 3-1. He walks it. That's 5 walks by Dave LaPointe, and the bases are loaded for Terry Steinbach. And here comes Stump Merrill. He's had Eric Plunk up and ready through the last half inning.
Well, good aggressive managing by La Russa. When you steal third, what you do for Dave Henderson is just make it easy. Fly ball would have scored a run. So if you're Dave LaPointe, you figure you either got to strike him out or make the perfect pitch. He hadn't been doing that too often tonight. He's pitched a pretty decent game, but in and out of trouble all night. Not command of the outside corner.
That's going to be the high in walks this season for Dave LaPointe in the 22 starts that he's made. 5 here in this game already.
Of course, that doesn't always mean that you're that wild. I mean, it obviously shows he doesn't have command of all his pitches. But I look at the scoreboard, 1-0. I think that he figures his team, even though they've been playing well, we saw the graphic earlier, they're not scoring a lot of runs. So you pitch around guys.
Here's a dangerous man up there with the bases loaded. Terry Steinbach has gone 6 for 10 with the bases loaded, a double, a home run, and you see the 13 RBIs off the sacks full situations.
Pretty good numbers.
Yo.
Studied under Pat Tabler.
The greatest of them all with the bases loaded.
Well, at least in years past.
Yeah.
I think he's had 2 off years in a row.
1 away, 1-0 A's lead. Sacks full. Foul back. He'll go to the plate at first and third if they get the opportunity, especially Lawrence at third. He stayed in. There you see the lead runner in Carney Lansford.
Yeah, unless it's, as you said earlier, a tailor-made. Boy, if he knows at third, Lawrence knows that he can go 4-5-4-3, he'll do it. But most likely, a 1-0 ball game, going to get the lead runner.
Steinbach scored the run in the 4th inning, hit by a pitch, came in on a Walt Weiss single. It's the only run up there. 5 hits for the A's. Inside, close pitch. 1 ball, 2 strikes on Steinbach.
This is where LaPointe's been at his best. When he's gotten ahead in the strike zone. You saw Canseco, the only out this inning, swinging one over his head. But he's had trouble tonight when he's had to throw the ball over, when he's been behind. 1 ball, 2 strikes. He may get Steinbach to swing at a ball.
Steinbach goes to left field. He's got another hit. Lansford scores. Willie Randolph the turn. Azokar's throw to the plate will not be in time, and it's 3-0 Oakland. A bases loaded single by Terry Steinbach. When you got him loaded, he ain't the man you want up.
No, it isn't. We talked about how they seem to rise to the occasion. They know they got their ace on the mound. Azocar, we told you about his hitting ability. Charges the ball well, but not a great arm. And he used to be a pitcher. Maybe that's why he became a left fielder. Well, if you're ever going to throw anybody out, well, see, look at that. About 3.5 steps, 2 at the most. This doesn't get there in time. Willie Randolph still being able to run about 30 at 38, and there will be a pitching change.
And obviously the advanced scouts put the report in on Azocar and left that he didn't have the arm. And there's Eric Plunk. Dave LaPointe leaving the ball game here in the 5th inning as he has given up 6 hits for the Oakland A's, responsible for the 2 base runners on. There's Carney Lansford, who scored. Lansford, who led this inning off with a single, came along with Willie Randolph on the last one, and these A's are now hitting .360 with the bases loaded and 81 RBIs off that situation.
And he can bring it. One outstanding fastball, one of the best fastballs in the American League. Got the big breaking ball to go with it. See the strikeouts? A little bit less than 1 an inning. Former Oakland A. Always liked his arm. I mean, it's always seemed, Gary, when you talk about the pitching staff of Oakland, even though Plunk now pitching for the Yankees, is that La Russa has been able to sequence himself right into the closer position. Used to have Plunk along with Gene Nelson, now Todd Burns. That's why I felt that the Yankees needing pitching desperately. They traded for Plunk.
He's got a job to do here now with a 3-0 lead. Oakland, Alameda, Gary Thorne and Jim Palmer with you as the Yankees and A's open up this 3-game set, and it's the A's on top 3-0, and the inning far from over here with Mark McGwire coming up to the plate with runners on at first and second base. The other half of that equation is the fact that Dave Stewart on the mound is just dominating play, and there's McGwire waiting as he measures up Eric Plunk. Part of the Bash brothers, of course, so much made of it here with Canseco and McGwire. Talking about guys in history, there you see the most home runs by teammates, led by Roger Maris and Mickey Mantelson. Look at the names in that group, huh? Ruth and Gehrig, Gabby Hartnett in there, Hank Greenberg. You also got to add Dave Henderson into that group for the A's this season. Even though Canseco and McGwire get all the ink, Henderson's up there to 19 home runs. There's Jose.
Merv Redeman, the batting instructor, saying, I wish that Fielder would hit more because every time he does, Jose gets hot.
Doesn't like to be outdone in home runs.
No, he doesn't. But I think the way he's swinging, his back has got to be bothering him. It looks like it's always his neck. He's always turning his neck, but that's something he does every year.
Stewart sitting next to him with a jacket on, waiting, hoping there'll be more to come.
Yeah, you know, you really have mixed emotions when you're on the bench. You want him to get a lot of runs, but you want him to do it in a hurry. You don't like long innings, especially when you're on a roll. I think, as you said, 11 consecutively retired by Stewart. So right here, I think he probably wants McGwire to hit a quick 3-run home run, give him a 6-0 lead, and he'll go from there.
76 walks with the 2 he's picked up tonight for Mark McGwire. Still the .217 batting average. Eric Plunk puts that one in the strike zone. Plunk last appeared on Tuesday. First time he'd worked in a week. Went 3 2/3 innings on Tuesday night.
Well, he's the type of guy that will make the mitt pop. Probably can hear it from here.
Pick off. Almost threw it away. Espinosa hauls it in. Henderson back to the bag. What a difference it'll look like for the hitters after Dave LaPointe goes out and Plunk comes in.
Well, I think Stump Merrill went a little bit too long, not too long, but I think as most managers, when you get a guy that's pitching pretty well for you like LaPointe, you give him that extra mile, and it backfired. And the single by Steinbach.
McGuire with an 0-1. Breaking balls there as McGuire is leaning away on that one. 0-2.
And we haven't seen the 90-plus fastball. Yeah, you know, they say it's easy to manage in the American League, but I don't think so. Well, the most difficult thing is when do you take your pitcher out? Oh yeah.
Had the body going
in a bucket.
8 different ways.
Not the foot in the bucket, the body.
0-2 the count. 1 down and 2 on. That's where he thought the last one was going to be. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Well, the word around the league was after 49 home runs that McGuire may have been intimidated by such pitchers like that. Second year, a lot of guys headhunting. I don't think I'd want to throw at him. He's too big. Maybe I could outrun him.
He has a good nature, but even with that.
Not when you're throwing at his head.
No. Here's the 1-2. Breaking ball. Trying for the inside corner with it. 2 balls, 2 strikes on McGuire. Throttle back on that one to 73 miles an hour.
This is with a big curveball. McGuire, a pitcher himself at the University of Southern California. Always likes to talk pitching. I think maybe he figures he'll learn something as a hitter, but I think his heart still is on the mound every once in a while.
2-2. 3-2. He's very happy to play that backup role in this A's team with all the publicity that goes to everybody else. There's Henderson, Dave Henderson at second base.
And so is this guy, you know, Dave Henderson. You know, last year had another good year, not as good as the year before when he hit the 24 home runs, but it's nice to have Jose around to take the heat.
All the publicity you want and the money. 3-2. Got a hold of it. Right center field. It's playable. Tagging up at second base is Henderson. Catch is made by Roberto Kelly, and Henderson will move over to third base. He just got under that one to center field. Now there are 2 down. John Saunders.
Well, as you know, the Jays have already lost, so the Red Sox could take a 3-game lead in the East. Facing the Mariners, Randy Johnson to Tim Naring. Slops it through the middle. Tony Pena comes in to score. The Red Sox mounting the comeback, but they are still down 4-1. Let's go back to Gary and Jim.
And we are a 3-0 ball game here in Oakland. 2 runs in here this inning on 3 hits. First and third with 2 down now. And let's see what Felix Jose can do with it. Turns around to bat left-handed, batting .256 from this side, .283 the other. Steinbach's the runner at first. Henderson at third. Look out. Oh. Did it hit him?
Yes, it did.
He's going down to first base. Hindu's going back to third. Second hit batter, first by Plunk, one by LaPointe.
Larry Weinberg out to take a look at Felix Jose. Yeah. Can't get out of the way of that one. The bunny hop.
Left instep.
Just about to say that he has a hole inside from the left side, but not with a curveball.
So Jose, who was 0 for his last 10, gets hit by a pitch to bring up Walt Weiss, who's 10 for his last 28.
Well, you hope he's all right, but so does Tony La Russa, because he's got some problems. I mean, they got Doug Jennings, but with Henderson, they decided even though he may be out, there's talk, he said he'd probably be back by next weekend. Well, they don't really know. Jeff Robinson up and throwing, the Yankee bullpen. But they don't have a lot of extra men on the bench. Not a lot of depth.
Not anymore, and that's always been one of their great strengths. Ricky Henderson with that hamstring pull, getting it worked on before the game, but he's nowhere near ready to go. So with 2 down, bases are loaded again. Walt Weiss takes the strike on the inside corner. Weiss had the RBI single in the 4th inning. 3-0 lead and a chance for him to really put some distance up. He's batting .275 left-handed and .256 right. He and Jose, Felix Jose, the 2 switch hitters on the Oakland A's roster. 0-1. Missed inside. Weiss has had only a couple of chances with the bases loaded. 2 for 2.
That's how you hit 360 as a team.
Yeah. Stump Merrill hoping Plunk can get it done. Gets ahead on the count, a ball and 2 strikes.
Real tough pitch to hit. Tough to get on top of.
Need the ladder for that one, don't you?
Plunk has what I would call one of those loose arms. Boy, just a whip-like action. The key to pitching, hitting, broadcasting, anything is to relax.
Yeah. I have an awful hard time.
Yeah, I noticed.
1 ball, 2 strikes. Great breaking ball. Eric Plunk. Weiss slams the bat down, and they leave the bases loaded. Talking about the Bash brothers, 1927, Gehrig on the left, Ruth on the right. Both of them could drive the baseball as well as any. And they set Yankee Stadium aflutter. 107 home runs that season for these two. The Bambino, with that ever-present swing and that ever-present pot belly. And a tip of the hat, which we don't see a lot of in baseball anymore today.
The only people that do it are obviously pitchers.
Yeah.
The Bambino, a great pitcher. One of the best winning percentages of all time.
Yeah. 3-0 here with the A's leading the Yankees, trying to get the Yankees out of that 5-game win streak, and the Yankees haven't beaten Oakland in the last 8 games, including 6 this year. And Stewart looking to even his record 5-5 against them, and the fans figuring this one's going pretty well this Friday night, so get down, mama.
That's right, over 2 million this year.
Yeah.
You said earlier they sold out all 3 games this weekend, so they leap over the 2 million mark.
And the earliest they've done it.
Oh, this is a great place. I mean, you know, you're a little bit far from the field, but great music. You got the Bart out there in center field.
Real relaxed atmosphere.
Earthquake, yeah, earthquake proof out there.
That's right. Alvaro Espinosa, number 9 hitter for the Yankees, fouls it back off Dave Stewart, who's going to throw some strikes here as we go to the top half of the 6th inning. Yankees have had only 1 base runner in scoring position.
Pretty good percentage. Boy, anytime you can throw over 2/3 strikes with good stuff, only 2 hits.
They've not had a runner to third base off Stewart tonight. Best chance 2nd inning, a single and a walk to start it out, but double play ended the inning. They left a runner stranded in scoring position. That's been it. They haven't had a base runner on since the 2nd inning.
They had their chance.
11 in a row retired.
Yeah, he's doing what Leary did to the Seattle Mariners last night. Tim Leary with only a 2-hitter for 8 innings, and then Gooderman on for the save for the Yankees. 5-0. They were only gave up what, 1.6 runs a game and only scored about a little over 3.5. That's not a lot of runs. Yankees pitching.
Winning on pitching in this hit streak, including 1-0 last night. There's another one. Stewart's got 6 strikeouts in the game now and 4 in a row as he struck the side out in the 5th inning. So that little rest on the bench he had when 8 A's came up doesn't appear to have affected him.
Well, easy and quick formula. Get ahead and just throw it a little bit out of the strike zone with good stuff. Some of those strikeouts tonight, especially the last 4 fastballs, and then 1 on a curveball and 1 on a split finger fastball.
So Roberto Kelly will give it a whirl. Look at that ball move. 0 for 2, including a strikeout for Kelly, who hasn't had a hit in his last 13 at-bats.
Yeah, that was the split finger. Notice how it dropped, plummeted, I guess is a better term.
Up high with it, 2 balls and no strikes to Kelly, who's hitting .282. Kelly says he's tried to lay off the bad pitches and get deeper into the count, and that's what's made him a better hitter this season, and that's what he's doing right here as the count goes to 3 balls and no strikes.
Yeah, I think that's been the big dilemma with the Yankees. Lou Piniella never leading off Kelly because they didn't know the strike zone well enough. You know, he can hit for an average. He's hit over 300 a couple of times, but will he walk? Will he be a Ricky Henderson, even though he does have similar base running abilities? Good center fielder. There's a 3-1 count. If he takes that pitch, he goes to first.
That's the one he's trying to stay off from, but couldn't do it. 3-2 on the 87-mile-an-hour fastball.
In fact, Piniella he hit him 9th. Had a terrific year.
3-2. Walt Weiss. Scooped by McGuire. 2 down in the 6th inning.
Yeah, very underrated first baseman Mark McGuire. That's just about 6'6". Long arms, soft hands. He can make a bad throw a good one just because of his good arm span. Way up there. Snacks it. Tell you what, first baseman glove is so big. If you put a ball in it, sometimes you don't even know it's there.
Can't feel
it. Of course, he knows it's there.
He knows, yeah.
But a foreigner, when they put that glove on, gets lost.
2 down, and the bases are empty as Stewart bounces one on Sachs, who singled in the first inning. Only 2 hits for the Yankees. The single by Sachs with 1 out in the first, and the leadoff single by Kevin Maas starting the second. That's been it. Well, strike is in. You talk about some unbelievable numbers. This Yankee team against the Oakland A's this season in 6 games hitting 165.
It's a real good pitching staff.
165 as a team.
Did the Giants hit that much? No, I'm serious.
Yeah.
I mean, it was somewhere around there.
Yeah, that's right.
In fact, I could probably look it up here in the press guy, but it was real low, and they can do that, especially when you have an earthquake and you see Moore twice. I know he struggled, won his 10th yesterday, and this guy right here, Stewart.
He's got another 1-2-3 inning. This could be 14 in a row, and it is. Retires the side in order. Yankees haven't had a man on since the second. Bottom half of the 6th inning coming up with the A's on top 3-0, shutting out the Yankees, and we've got our way back machine working as Zach and Jay take us back to August 10, 1945. On this day, the Japanese offered to surrender to the Allies if the Emperor would be left on the throne. And the Allies said yes, so long as he would be subject to the commander in that famous VJ picture that was taken in Times Square. And on this same day, 1945, that year, the Yankees purchased $2.8 million for the New York Yankees at the old Yankee Stadium. What are they worth now? Oh, about $200 million. Our way back machine on this Friday. Little piece of history for you. Bottom half of the 6th inning. Eric plunks on. There you go. Takes it down low for a ball. And he's batting at 207. For the value of franchises, Major League Baseball, those numbers are incredible when you look at how rapidly they rose. Inside, 2-0.
Well, expansion for the National League. What are they?
95?
95 or 98,000.
Yep.
Thought it was originally going to be higher. And I don't believe that's even stocked with players, is it?
No. No, it isn't. That's just to get in the door. Takes the strike, 2-1. That was Dan Topping, Del Webb, and Larry McPhail who purchased the Yankees back in '45 for that price. Familiar names in baseball ownership. And the ownership question of the Yankees still very much muddled. Cast a weigh on this team during this season with all that's gone on off the field. 3 balls and 1 strike on Gallego.
Yeah, you lose Mattingly to injuries. Winfield, back injury last year. And then they decided they were not going to play him on a regular basis. It's about 100 RBIs for those 2 guys. Not to mention all the off the field.
There's the walk, and this is what the A's have been doing all night, getting the leadoff man on base. The only inning, the 1-2-3 was in the 3rd when they were retired in order by LaPointe. Otherwise, they've had somebody on each of the innings. And Plunk gives up the leadoff walk to the number 9 hitter, Mike Gallego, and Lansford set himself a night, up the average to 271 with a couple of singles and a run scored. Maas hits him with that tag, and he's going to take Gallego's head off.
Oh yeah, Maas. I mean, is he big enough?
A giant over there, first base.
I think my wife Joni said it best when she was taking some pictures down on the field. She said if he can't hit the curveball, he can always make it in modeling.
Oh, not underwear.
I said that's enough.
That's
pictures
enough
of the guy.
There he is.
Yeah, she was hanging out with Scott Sanderson, another good-looking guy. I said, come on.
And the pitch is up high for a ball. 2 balls and no strikes.
Palling around with Ricky Henderson. Come on. I mean,
yeah,
so what if he makes $3.5 million?
But Jim, in her wallet, she carries that picture of you.
Of you.
In your underwear.
You coming back from that hotel that you, after you left ours, that had fleas last year.
2 balls and no strikes.
Yeah, what was your highlight of doing?
Don't give me that.
What was the highlight of doing last year's World Series?
Highlight of the World
It wasn't the
Series.
earthquake. It was Gary Thorne leaving like a rat, deserting a sinking ship, going to another hotel, and coming back 20 minutes later.
2-0 count. And it's taken inside. Now, what happened, folks, is during the World Series and after the earthquake, we didn't have any water in our hotel. We were here doing the World Series, working with ABC. There's Robinson, the bullpen, up for the second time. And I just wanted a shower. And up the street, they had a hotel that had water. So I went up to get a shower. I was going to stay for the night. But once I took the shower, I realized I was getting eaten alive by fleas. 3-0 pitch is up high. And there's 2 in a row. And Plunk has the first 2 on here in the 6th inning for Willie Randolph. Full house at the Coliseum here in Oakland, watching their champion A's work against the Yankees. And they've got the 3-0 lead with Stewart doing the pitching, and Stump Merrill's on his way back out to the mound. That's 7 walks given up, 5 by LaPointe, 2 by Plunk.
Plunk throwing over 90 miles per hour, but nowhere near the plate. He's going to call Liritz, the third baseman, over. They're going to decide what strategy. Definitely a squeeze, not a squeeze, but a sacrifice situation here. Willie Randolph already with a base hit bunt. Pushed it up the first base line his last time up. So to decide with a young and inexperienced infield. You mentioned it briefly earlier about the fact that maybe Mattingly will go to left field. I always felt that, or the outfield, that Mattingly was a guy like Keith Hernandez that gives you almost a pitching coach or an extra coach on the infield. I mean, very adept as a first baseman, but also the guy that is able to keep a calm head. And when you look at Espinoza, you know, not a lot of experience. Sachs just coming into the American League, you know, only his second year, and you know, a great young guy, or not young, but right around 30. But I don't know if I want Steve Sachs coming in. He's too emotional. But the voice of reason, Mattingly, I think they'll miss him if they put him in the outfield.
Good point. Nobody out. Willie Randolph with 2 on. They're looking for the bunt. He squares, takes the pitch for a ball. Charging was Kevin Moss at first. We mentioned earlier, and there you see waiting on deck Canseco. We mentioned earlier Kevin Moss at first when he had to make the bunt throw and had to straighten up. He wears a brace on a knee. He had reconstructive surgery. It might be one of the reasons he has troubles at first. That knee's got a big heavy brace on it, and it's tough for him to maneuver. There you see it. You can tell what leg it's on. 1-0. And Plunk again falling behind. 2 balls and no strikes this time on Willie Randolph.
Yeah, that knee on the right, that brace on the right knee, as you look at third base coach just flashing the signals. Of course, you don't really know. You got to assume the way Randolph's hitting, this is going to be a bunt situation. Of course, if you do 3 runs down, you may walk Canseco, so he may let him hit away here. 2-0.
Runners go, double time, hit and run, foul back. Though Tony La Russa showed us tonight, he's stolen third with runners at first and second. Randolph, who's had just 2 hits in his last 13 times up, gets the hit and run.
Yeah, a lot of theories. You know, Earl Weaver would say, I am never going to take the bat out of a Canseco hand. So if you do bunt here, you'll walk Jose, and successfully, you'll walk Jose to set up the double play.
Gallego at second, Lansford at first. Nobody out. 3-0 A's lead. Eric Plunk. Runners not going. 3-1. That's how they do it. Rene Lashman at third base. From La Russa to Randolph and the base runners. Three-1. Chance at third. Plunk got him. Liritz takes the throw. Oh, Randolph unable to get that bunt where he wanted it. Gallego's taken out, 1 away with runners on. John Saunders.
The Orioles and the Angels. Bert Blyleven with a 1-0 lead facing Cal Ripken Jr. The curveball pulled through the hole. Steve Finley comes in to score and ties the game at 1 apiece. That's where they stand, all knotted up in the 6th. Back to Gary and Jim.
Baltimore Orioles trying to hang in there in that Eastern Division race, starting the day 6 games behind Boston, 3rd place.
Everybody's still trying to hang in there in that Eastern Division. Toronto doesn't want to play well. Boston, they lost Reardon with back surgery.
That's a division. It's going to go right down to the end. Bases low. Runners first and second, rather. Canseco takes it outside for a ball from Plunk. And the fans move to the edge of their seats when the big guy comes up, but he is 0 for 3 right now. Batting average, .297. One away. Going for the dinger. 1-1. Plunk's a little more to the big guy's liking than LaPointe. He can flail away.
You know, how many strikes has he swung at tonight? Canseco, the back problems, but also a lot of bad swings, big swings at balls. That's why he strikes out so much. And when he hits them.
1-1. Fooled him, but missed the strike zone.
You know, people look at you like you're nuts when you say this is the type of guy when you're in a jam you sometimes like to have come up, especially when your control deserts you, because he will expand the strike zone. He'll make it a little bit bigger than it's been. He's going to help you out. He can also hurt you very quickly.
Look at little chin music. 3 balls and 1 strike. And Plunk's in a cripple situation here. He's got Dave Henderson on deck. He's got runners at first and second, and a 3-1 on Canseco.
To add a little bit further to that point, you don't take something off to Canseco. I mean, you just have to go at him. Throw it as hard as you can. Try to be relaxed. Throw him a slider, 3-1, which he just did.
On the inside corner, 3-2.
Well, that's the kind of respect you have for Canseco. I cannot think of anybody in baseball that can do the things that Jose Canseco can do. Hitting right around 300, as you said, in the 297. It was 300 last Tuesday. Can drive guys in. Great on base percentage. Good outfielder. Throws well. Can steal a base.
9th in on base percentage for him. Ricky Henderson is first in that department. 3-2, 2 on, 1 away, not going, and it's load him up. Canseco draws the walk. 3 walks by Plunk have loaded the bases this inning. John Siders.
The Brewers and the Royals. The Royals looking for the sweep. Bill Pecota this time at the plate, and he yanks this one out to left field. The home run. The Royals are on top of Milwaukee. Looks like they're cruising to the doubleheader victory. Let's get it back to you.
And the New York Yankees trying to get a victory to get out of the cellar, but right now the A's are dominating, and that's going to be it for Plunk. Bad inning. He's walked 3, and they are on right now. As a result, with Dave Henderson, the cleanup batter, coming up with the bases loaded. This is where, as we said before, the A's just thrive when they get the sacks full. And Robinson's on.
Yeah, another acquisition by the Yankees from Pittsburgh. Did not have a good year last year. 2 years ago, won a lot of ball games. They can use him as a starter. They usually mostly as a reliever this year. He's had 4 starts, been in 38 games. This will be his 39th. The numbers are not good, but then again, there are not a whole lot of Yankee pitchers with good numbers. Tim Leary, he's 6-14. Jeff Robinson, 3-6. Less hits per innings. It usually tells you something. It's a pitch for the Giants. Anybody that pitches for the Giants usually has one of those split finger fastballs.
Well, he's going to need it working right here to get the ball on the ground to try and get that double play with the bases loaded. While he warms up, we will bring you your highlight of this Friday night. This copyrighted telecast presented by authority of Major League Baseball may not be reproduced or retransmitted prior to midnight in any form without the express written consent of Major League Baseball and that couple at the Dome. 1 away, bases loaded, 3rd Yankee pitcher. LaPointe 4 1/3, 3 runs, 6 hits, 5 walks, and 3 strikeouts. Plunk came on to get a couple of outs in the 5th inning, but he hasn't gotten anybody out here, and he's given up 3 walks. The Yankee pitchers now have issued 10 free passes in this game, 8 walks, 2 hit batters, helping out the A's offense. Next Friday night matchup, the Mets and the Giants. That'll be at Candlestick Park right here on ESPN. Second half of our doubleheader on Friday night. The Mets obviously are, well, I say obviously, I think they're in first place now because they won and Pittsburgh lost today. So they are in that battle with the Pirates, while the San Francisco Giants are trying to catch Cincinnati, and they lost the first of that 4-game series 7-0 in Cincinnati tonight. And we will have it for you second half of our doubleheader.
And the fielder,
Dave Henderson. You enjoy coming to the ballpark here? You better believe it. The Hindu Kendu sign out there for Dave Henderson. The fan club of Dave Henderson brings that to every game here in Oakland. Put it out there in left center field where he hits home runs. Robinson. This is outside. Ball one. Lansford at third. Randolph at second. Canseco at first. Couple of RBIs in the fifth inning. Came in a bases loaded single by Terry Steinbach. In at first and third. Kevin Moss. Runner will tag at third. Breaks to the plate and will get back to third base in time as Lurritz takes the throw. Lansford going back in on the belly, and there's a big out, 2 away as Henderson is out of there. And there's a chance for Jeff Robinson to get out of the inning.
The batter, catcher.
How refreshing. Somebody throwing strikes.
Yeah.
I mean, Plunk came in, got an out, then hit a batter, struck somebody out, then walked 3 out of the next 4. Of course, if you're 6'5", you know, I was 6'3½". Sometimes if you're tall and you got that whippy arm motion, trouble to get the strike zone. You know, either the ball is too high or too low. You usually don't have a lot of problems in or out. Just trying to find that release point. LaPointe couldn't come up with it. Neither could Plunk. Maybe Jeff Robinson will have it. Yankees still in this ball game, especially if he gets out of this jam.
Steinbach gets his second chance with the bases loaded. Takes the pitch inside. He scored when he let off the fourth being hit by a pitch. Then got the 2 RBIs. As you look at Plunk on the bench waiting to see what happens, he's responsible for all 3 base runners. 2 down, 1-0 count, 3-0 A's lead. Two and 0.
Yeah, if you wonder why he's so interested as you look at Lansford at third. Willie Randolph at second. And the big guy over at first. It's because this can really have a lot to do with next year's salary. You know, how do you do as a relief pitcher with runners when you come in? Runners inherited. It's another new stat.
The hold, the runners inherited.
Yeah, oh. Well, I mean, what else do you have if you're a setup man?
Yeah, you don't get any recognition for the win or the save, and you don't get any official recognition for the hold. 2 balls, 1 strike, 2 away. Bases loaded. A's trying to put some greater distance between themselves and the Yankees in the person of Terry Steinbach. Down to third. Lurritz gets it over to Moss, and that will do it. And a nice job by Robinson. No runs despite a bases loaded situation with only 1 away. Plunk can rest.
ESPN Baseball Tonight, brought to you by Mitsubishi, bringing you a full line of award-winning automobiles. See them all at your Mitsubishi Motors dealer. By Irish Spring Deodorant Soap, the Irish never quit. By the makers of Desinex Athlete's Foot Medication. And by Budweiser, the king of beers. Remember, know when to say when.
Dave Stewart dominating as we go to the 7th inning. 3-0 lead. He has retired 14 in a row. Faced only 2 over the minimum. Yankees have not had a man to third base. And nobody on since the 2nd inning. Oscar Azócar 0 for 2. 2 for his last 14. For the rookie, the Yankees are so excited about. And batting .316. Fouls it off.
A lot to be made last year. The fact that Dave Stewart won 20 games 3 years in a row and never a Cy Young Award. And if you looked at the numbers, somebody had always pitched better. You know, whether it was Clemens, Saberhagen,
now
whatever.
It's his own teammate.
Well, I don't know if he's pitching better, but he's won more games. Bob Welch won his 18th on Tuesday.
1 and 2.
And how about Roger Clemens? 16 wins. That's 1 more than Dave Stewart. Leading the league in earned run average. Stewart leading in complete games. Strikeouts, Clemens leading 164. He's already won 2. Cy Young Award.
Going to be tough for Stewart to get one. Foul back again. 1 ball, 2 strikes on Oscar Azocar.
Oh, they asked him, do you think you're going to win 20? He said, well, I have at least about 11 starts left. He said, I ought to win at least half of them. And the way I'm pitching and the way the club's playing, more than that.
Their own Jim Palmer, the last one to have those 4 20-win-plus seasons in a row. Second base, Gallego. Stewart's making it look easy. Hitting the ground ball out to start the 7th on Azocar. There's one away, and that'll bring up Hall to be followed by Kevin Maas.
All batting. Designated hitter, Mel Hall.
The Little League's going to be interesting when they vote Cy Young Award too. Or Martinez.
Yeah.
Going to get some votes for the Dodgers. He's having a great season. What a great arm. Hall hitting 270, fouls it back, strike 1. Get Frank Viola, the Mets.
Oh, and then you get some of the relief pitchers.
Yeah.
How about Franco?
Yep.
The job he's done for the Mets. And again, that classic discussion, who's more important? A guy that goes out there every 5th day like a Dave Stewart or an Eckersley? There's another guy we forgot about. 37, 37 saves. Thick pen from the White Sox. Bobby right up there. They may set an all-time saves record. So what's more important? A guy that comes in almost from night to night, or a guy that goes out there every 5th day? For the starting pitcher, I'd say probably the guy that goes out there every day.
I can't believe you'd say that. Inside, 2 balls, 1 strike. But you did preface it with that as a starting pitcher.
Oh, no. I mean, I really
But
mean it.
I believe that too. I think most writers who vote also believe that.
Yeah, unless you have a year like Clemens did when he was 24-4, you go 20 games over 500, or like Guidry did.
Tag towards that right field fair post. It is a foul ball. Hall tomahawking that close to the home.
Twice tonight he's done that. Yeah, that is a good description. Tomahawk, and you don't see too many guys get out on a high pitch like that, but 2-1 for just last inning. Dorsett, the catcher, had a great 2-1 swing, a home run swing. And then all of a sudden it went to 2-2. He had a real late swing on a fastball, and then he struck him out. So I'll tell you what, you might have a good swing at Stewart 2-2. Now as a hitter with 1 out, you don't have any idea. It could be 1 of 3. Curveball, split finger, or a fastball.
See what he does with a 2-2. Right field, Canseco. And there are 2 down. 16 in a row for Dave Stewart with 2 away. John Saunders.
The Rangers and the White Sox. White Sox trying to ensure they'll at least pick up a half game. 4th inning. Nolan Ryan to Lance Johnson. That's a triple out to center field. Sammy Sosa trots in to score. And the White Sox have a 5-0 lead. So should they win both, they'll at least pick up a half. Let's get back to Gary and Jim.
Sox starting the day 4 games behind these Oakland A's, who are leading this one 3-0. Stewart looking to retire the side in order again. Kevin Maas. That is a foul ball. Just missed the bag.
Now, this is the 3rd time up for Kevin Maas. If you weren't with us early, Gary Thorne telling you about home run every 8.5 times up. Well, he had a home run swing and singled to right. Next time just missed a home run on another fastball. Started him off with a split finger. He almost hit a double over the bag.
Can't get that one up in the air. That's going to do it. Gallego playing it over. Another 1, 2, 3 innings. 17 in a row retired by Dave Stewart. In Palmer, we see Dave Stewart working the way he is tonight. What's he feel like out there when it's going this well?
In total command.
Yeah.
You know, he's got 3 runs. If you're pitching well, is enough. This is a big ballpark. You know, you got Eckersley. If you get another inning, you got Eckersley. And if you don't, you know, you got a lot of good pitchers until you get to Eck. And when Eck comes in, it's all over. I mean, I've never seen a guy pitch that well with such expediency than Dennis Eckersley. I don't know. It's like that the same guy that I saw as a starter all of a sudden realized it's a lot easier to get him out one time, and he just says, why mess around? Let's go after him.
Mark McGwire off Jeff Robinson, takes it down low for a ball. 1 ball, 1 strike. McGwire looking to get into it here with a couple of walks, so he's got the 0 for 1. Average dropped a point with the 0 for 1 to 216. Just 2 hits for the Yankees, 6 for the A's, and it's a strike in the inside corner. RBIs to Weiss in the 4th, and a bases loaded single in the 5th inning by Terry Steinbach, making it 3-0. Well, the A's haven't exactly tattooed the baseball here, but they've taken advantage. They've left the bases loaded in both the 5th and 6th innings of this game. Misses with that one. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Well, they start with a constant. Good pitching, good defense. Maybe not the most mobile defense in the league. I think the Orioles have that in the American League, but guys that just come out there, they're like Dave Henderson, just a very, very steady center fielder. So you have, and when Ricky Henderson plays, you got a real good left fielder. Canseco, when he's well, an above average right fielder. It's just a good defense. Weiss anchors the infield. Lansford, not great range, but very rarely ever makes a misplay. And if you got good pitchers.
3-2 to McGuire to center. And they got good pitchers.
Yes, they do, especially the bullpen.
Roberto Kelly hauls that one in. McGuire's out of there, and there's one away in the bottom half of the 7th inning.
They lose Storm Davis, 19-game winner. They get Scott Sanderson. And I always felt that nothing against Storm, but Storm Davis's success more a product of the Oakland A's than the fact that all of a sudden he became a big winner. He went out there, did his job for 5 or 6, and then Tony La Russa's smart enough and a good enough manager to get him to Eckersley. When you get to Eckersley, you just don't lose many leads.
Felix Jose takes the pitch outside, and of course Dave Righetti's record is being challenged this season by both Eckersley and Bobby Thigpen for most saves in a season. Down to first, nope, second. Sachs gets over, and there are 2 down. The all-time record for saves in a season, Dave Righetti of the Yankees, 46. You see Eckersley is in the middle of that picture right there, and he's already up to 37 saves, and Bobby Thigpen has been right along with him. He's only 1 behind him. And you see the difference. You look at the Yankee bullpen, they just don't get save opportunities because they're rarely ahead late in the ball game. Well, it's just the opposite for the A's and the White Sox this season.
Yeah, 1 blown save.
That's amazing, huh?
I think he saved his first 20, had a blown save, and then he's 18 for 18.
And as you say, he gets it done in such a hurry. It's like he comes in there, and before you even know, the game's over. Nobody has a chance to even look at him. He just throws strikes, and you're out, and you're gone.
Well, what has he got? 3 walks already in 50 innings.
Breaking ball misses. 2 down and nobody on. Walt Weiss, the RBI single in the 4th. His average now at 271 off Jeff Robinson, the 3rd Yankee pitcher. Bottom half of the 7th inning here in Oakland. Bounces it.
Yeah, Eckersley, when he first was put in the bullpen by Tony La Russa, very resistant. And I think then again, what he realized as you look at the brain trust, there he is, Stump Merrill, hopes that he will have the opportunity to play his young guys.
Base hit. Kelly will pick it up. Weiss is now 2 for 4 in the ball game. 2-out single here in the 7th. That's hit number 7. John Saunders.
The Brewers and the Royals wrapping up the 2nd game of a doubleheader. Crawford on the mound in relief. Spires pounds it. Pacoda dives, comes up, throws him out to finish the game. 9-4 is the final, and the Royals have the sweep. Let's return it to Gary and Jim.
So if this score stays the same and the A's beat the Yankees will still have a half game closer to getting out of the cellar in Milwaukee. There'll be only a game difference. Foul back. There'll be no play on that one off Gallegos' bat with 2 down and a runner on at first base. That's what Mike's done tonight.
Well, it just seems like the Yankees, looking in a year where it's certainly a down year, looking for something of substance. That was trying to beat Ryan when he went for 300. Now it's trying to get out of the cellar. And you got to look for, I mean, it's obvious to the Oakland A's that they wanted to get back to the World Series for the 3rd time. If you're the Yankees, what do you look forward to? Getting out of the cellar. You got to have some kind of goal.
Something to fight for. Make the season.
You got to give Stump Merrill a lot of credit because he's got these young guys trying and playing well.
Larrett's forced play at second base to Sachs. That'll do it. No runs, a base hit, and 1 left on. We've completed 7 in Oakland. The A's up. this season. 14-5 in April, 18-9 in May, 15-12 in June, 17-14 in July, and they're 6-2 in August. If you're going to win, that's not a bad way to get it done right from the get-go. And they got a 3-0 lead here for Stewart, because after his 16th win against 8 losses, the Yankees try to find a way to get some people on base. Barfield, Leyritz, Dorsett coming up here in the top of the 8th inning. Stewart has walked 1 and struck out 6. Giving up just 2 hits, 2 singles. Sacks in the first, Maz in the second. 25 consecutive innings for Stewart now without an earned run being scored against him. Barfield's just trying to slow him down. 2-0 count. It's about the first time he's fallen behind 3-0 in the game.
Trying to get one other 3-2 count. Jesse will be taking down by 3 runs.
So he'd retired 17 in a row prior to this leadoff walk in the 8th inning. First runner for the Yankees since the 2nd inning. We are in Oakland on another beautiful evening. Very little breeze blowing here tonight at the Coliseum. The A's on top 3-0. RBIs 1 for Weiss, 2 for Steinbach. They have left 12 on base against Lapointe, Plunk, and now Jeff Robinson of the Yankees. The Yankees have had only a runner to second, nobody to third, 2 left on in the game. Jim Leyritz. Leyritz hitting .272 on the season.
Five straight, and that was a breaking ball. He started off Barfield with a breaking ball, then got underneath. In other words, he dropped his elbow. Surprised nobody's up in the Oakland bullpen on 3 successive fastballs. That can mean that your rhythm's destroyed or you're a little bit tired.
Pours the strike in. 1 ball, 1 strike. Yankees are not out of this ball game despite the domination. It's only 3-0. The A's have not taken advantage of the opportunities to put the game away. A 1-1. 2 balls, 1 strike, and he's struggling. Guerin's in the bullpen, loosening up. The catcher for the Yankees. 2-1. 2-2.
Of course, if you're a veteran pitcher, if you're Dave Duncan, the pitching coach, there are certain checkpoints that you either can personally come up with or your pitching coach can do for you. I've always felt the veteran pitchers are the ones, just like a good golf swing, they can go to those checkpoints and make an adjustment.
He adjusts, and it's 2-2, and he's gone. That's his 7th strikeout of the game as he comes back on Leyritz. And Stewart got him.
Yep, another high fastball. This time with the count 2-2, he can get the hitter to swing at it.
Saw Matt Noakes picking a bat up. He's going to pinch hit here for Dorsett, who had hit into a double play and struck out.
I was wondering why Matt wasn't catching tonight. Then I looked down and saw that he's had some pretty good numbers coming off the bench. In his last 9 pinch hits, he's 5 for 9 with 2 home runs and 6 RBIs. So maybe more valuable. I don't know. I got to think he's a pretty good hitter in Yankee Stadium. Maybe more valuable on the road as a pinch hitter than as a starting catcher. Not known for his defensive abilities as much as his bat.
Dave Duncan with a book. Taking a look at where Noakes lines up in it. Noakes has hit in 3 straight games, and in those pinch hit appearances, 5 for his last 9 as a pinch hitter with 2 home runs and 6 RBIs.
And what they're looking at on that book is where they're going to play him. They go over the entire offensive lineup as a team.
They do move around on him. Lansford plays off the grass at third. The shortstop Weiss is playing almost behind second base. You see Walt Weiss shifted way over towards second.
Pull hitter. Of course, his first year when he hit 32 home runs, I mean, he was on such a hot streak. Even the balls that he didn't jerk and pull, he'd drive to left center field. And of course, they've made some adjustments, pitching him a little bit different. His home run numbers coming down drastically.
McGuire won. They got to make the tag at second base, and hits the runner. Still got him.
him and kept him from getting to the bag, and it makes the last out.
Walt Weiss with a heads-up play. Had to put the tag on. It's a double play. 3-6. It bounces off his back.
Well, toughest play. If you're left-handed, it's easy. Threw his hand up, but slides short of the bag, and Weiss stayed right with it for the final thing. What a lucky play as the luck continues for the Oakland Athletics.
And our Budweiser storyline tonight, Dave Stewart on the mound. Look at the 26 consecutive innings now that he's not allowed a run, including this one. The Yankees, they have put people on. That has helped the Oakland attack. The 8 walks and 2 have been hit by a pitch. The RBIs have gone to Steinbach 2 and Weiss 1. You see the Yankees with just 2 hits in this game. That's our Budweiser storyline tonight. And when things are going right for you, you get the double play the way they did with the ball bouncing off the back with a base runner, and a nice play by Weiss to concentrate on getting the baseball. So Noakes, the pinch hitter, ends up hitting into a double play, and Stewart faces only 3 despite that leadoff walk. Carney Lansford leading it off here. Randolph and Canseco due up in the bottom of the 8th inning. Takes the strike. 1-1. One ball, 2 strikes on Lansford, who's put the average up to 271 with the 2 singles, and he's been on base also with that walk. This is Jeff Robinson, the 3rd Yankee pitcher.
Yeah, Carney last year hitting .336. That matched his high when he won a batting championship back in '81 for the Red Sox.
Up the middle.
And that's what he does so well. Hits it back at the pitcher, slices it into right field. I would describe him as he hits the ball inside out. In other words, hits the inside part of the ball. Very few home runs, uses the whole field. He's had some hamstring problems, and when you talk about a guy, as you said, hitting right around 275 last year, 336, you know, what do you point to? Or, you know, what do you put your finger on the big difference? When you hit 336, you got to have some breaks. You know, the balls you don't hit well have to fall in. The balls you do hit well aren't atom balls.
A few bleeders, a few dying quails. Willie Randolph, 8 hits in the game, and Randolph was squared around a few times in this game. Does it again. 3-0. 8 hits for the A's. 3 of them picked up by Carney Lansford. Randolph had one of the hits in the 5th when he got his single. Rene Lashman goes through the signs again. The A's would like to add at least this run. Carney Lansford at first base, get him in the scoring position here. The bottom half of the 8th inning with that 3-0 lead.
Again, how do you do it? Do you do it with straight sacrifice and again take Canseco out of your offense? We'll see what Tony La Russa wants to do, but if they sacrifice, I think you got to walk Canseco and maybe go for the double play.
Well, they won't have to worry about it here as Okar hauls it in left field, so Randolph swinging away becomes the first out in the 8th. 1 down. Lansford back to first base. Scores Okar in left, and it'll bring up Canseco.
And your perfect offensive lineup, you either got a guy that can really shoot the ball to right. That's why the A's are so tough when Henderson leads off and gets on base like he's capable. That is Ricky Henderson. And you got Lansford, who can hit behind the runner. A lot of other guys have left-handed batters that take advantage of that hole.
Robinson gets it in for the strike. Canseco is just not swinging the bat, as Jimmy said earlier, the way you're used to seeing Canseco swing. That back is bothering him. He stayed out for the outfield for 3 games, worked as the DH, back in tonight in right field. You can just tell he has that great, fluid, powerful swing. It's just not there.
We talk about bat speed. That is the quickness, I guess the velocity of the bat through the hitting zone. I can't think of too many guys that have the kind of velocity, the way he swings the bat through the hitting zone. You just don't see it. That's where he gets the awesome power.
0-2, misses outside, a ball and 2 strikes. And you add that body mass, so you walked all the way across the plate.
A little George Foster in him. Remember how George Foster, like when you hit 52 home runs for Cincinnati, used to just lean out and then eventually walk in across the plate?
Pitchers don't like that.
No, they don't.
And umpires don't like that.
They didn't like the 52 home runs he hit either.
Runner at first with one away. 1-2 count on Canseco. And same spot, same result, 2-2 by Robinson.
Have you ever seen the way they tried to get? They threw extra hitting to Jose. He was wearing a pair of shorts and his, outer socks on today, throwing halfway between the pitcher's mound and home plate. Art Kushner from his knees behind the screen, trying to make him wait. Apparently, if you're a hitter and you do that, it makes you wait a little bit better. Stay back.
Fouls that one off. Count stays at 2-2. They also say that's supposed to improve your bat speed. You got the guy right on top of you who throws not hard, obviously, but fairly hard, because you're really close to the batter when you're throwing it that way from behind the screen. You really got to jerk that bat around through the strike zone.
He's never had too much of a problem doing that.
Maybe that's why. Maybe it works. Brother Ozzy's gone back down to the minors after a brief stint. 2-2. And he works at full, 3-2 with Carney Lansford on at first base.
Jose saying, well, I don't know how well I'm going to hit if they send my brother back to Double-A. Next day he was gone. And he hadn't been hitting that well.
No.
I think it's more of the back than his problem. His brother's not there.
But
it must be great, though, of course, to have your brother on the same ball club. But this kind of ball club, he's going to have to play.
Runner goes. Got him. Chance for two. Throw by Guerin. Safe. Off the bag and out. Carney Lansford overslid the bag. And Guerin, who came in to catch, gets him. Ninth inning coming up. New York Yankees on the road trip they're on right now are hitting just .171, including just 2 hits that they picked up here tonight. Take a look at this last play. Guerin had just come on to catch. Canseco the strikeout, and then watch Lansford at second.
That will go as a caught steaming. So the 44% success quotient for Bob Guerin goes up. A little help from Carney.
Yeah.
This is how he got. That's the 12th time he's been thrown out. So now we see why. That's an unusual slide. Yeah, normally you see guys overslide, but sometimes when they go head first and overslide the bag.
There's Carney. So the Yankees' last chance. Stewart looking for his 8th complete game and his 4th shutout. Steve Belboni, the pinch hitter, against him. Alvaro Espinoza takes the strike. Belboni is batting just .199. Will be followed by Kellyan Sachs here in the 9th. Yankees have been shut out this season. Total of 9 times already. While the Oakland staff looking for their 13th shutout. Don Shulock says no, he did not go around. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Dave Stewart, his 8th complete game. Already 3 shutouts. That leads. Those 7 complete games leads the American League.
Stewart outside. Stewart started the night with the 3rd best earned run average in the league at .258. Only Clemens and Finley ahead of him.
Yeah, this is the best year he's had from an earned runs average. Usually about 3.2 to 3.3 runs a game.
Took something off that one. 2-2.
Well, Balboni, I mean, even at the end of my career, I could get him out inside because he's one of these guys that loves the ball away. His first move is in. Loves to get his arms extended.
That's where the bye-bye comes from, and Stewart stays inside. 3-2.
And the bat head can get out there very quickly. He's never been one of these guys, you can see the closed stance, that has been able to hit the ball on the inside part of the plate.
That'll be foul down the left field line into the seats. Coming up here on ESPN Sports Center with Bill Packard and Montgomery. 2nd round PGA Championship. They'll have an update on the numbers. We'll have our baseball wrap-up, including the start of that series of the Giants and the Reds. The National Football League preseason underway. You'll hear about it on Sports Center next. Balboni again. Fouls it off. Carney Lansford coming over. Not quite. Just into the dugout.
Get an idea of how much foul. Yeah, he was thinking about it. But anyway, you get an idea of how much foul territory there is here in Oakland. That ball was almost playable. Whipped it back over his shoulder.
Look how far he has to go. He looks about 4 times for it. At least that's the right dugout where you get a little help over there.
I still remember Butch Hobson. He just dove down the runway in Boston. I thought about saving him until I realized I was going to do it with my right arm.
3-2. He's gone. Stewart gets the strikeout. He's still throwing at 88 miles an hour. 8 strikeouts in the game. 1 away in the Yankee half of the 9th inning.
Bye-bye. Back to the bench. You know, that's Steve Balboni. Can hit him incredible distances, but also a free swinger.
Like the Yankees. This Yankee team. Not many wait. Kelly, who's still in the 0 for 3 in this game. 0 for his last 14. And batting at 282. Breaking ball outside. 1 ball, 1 strike. If the A's win this ball game, it'll be 7 in a row against the Yankees this year. 7-0. And going back to last year, 9 in a row against New York that they've won. But it's not over yet. Inside, a ball and 2 strikes.
I think that was that was a strike, but the one good swing Kelly had, first pitch of the game, fastball out over the plate, wrapped it, but right at the shortstop.
Muscles that one into right field for a base hit. And there's the first Yankee hit since the 2nd inning, and only their 3rd of the game. But now it brings a potential tying run into the on-deck circle, as Steve Sachs will be coming to the plate, and Oscar Azocar will be waiting on deck. 3 singles. Sachs, Kelly, and Moss. Honeycutt just up. Dave Duncan, the pitching coach, in the middle there. One down, and it's up high to Sachs. And Stewart, as we mentioned in the last inning, he's struggling a bit just to try and get a complete game here. He may be throwing hard with a fastball, but the location's not the same. 1-0.
You see underneath it, drop the elbow. You can see him raising his arm.
Look at La Russa. Look at Duncan, the pitching coach.
What do you think?
What do you think, Dave?
Well, he used to catch me in Baltimore. Dave Duncan. Great swinger, good catcher. And a very heady catcher. There's another one he got underneath.
3-0.
You look at Sachs. We talked about the fact that he's not having the year he had last year when he had the 205 hits, but he said strikeouts are the same, walks are about the same. Right here, he will try to get on base because of what you said, tying runs on deck.
And he does. This game is not over. That's just the 3rd walk given up by Stewart. And now runners are on at 1st and 2nd with 1 away.
Told you about veteran pitchers trying to make adjustments. Well, he does adjust. He gets on top of this pitch. The elbow up that time, but it's a little bit low. So after throwing a series of high pitches, he does what Earl Weaver used to always do. You throw about 3 high ones, he'd say, throw one, bounce one, show me that you're at least trying to do something. And I'd say, isn't that a ball too? And I'd confuse him.
La Russa's got the lineup card in hand. He's hollering out to Carney Lansford as he moves him over towards the bag at 3rd on Oscar Azocar. They play Azocar to pull. Big hole at short for him, and the Yankees very much in this now with 1 away. Stewart, if he can get the ground ball double play, can get out of it. Azocar, if he can pick up a hit, really opens up the 9th inning. The A's are leading 3-0. Top of the 9th with 1 out.
And Honeycutt's up for the next 2 guys. Hall, left-hander.
Kevin Moss.
Yeah, then Kevin Moss on deck.
The home run hitter. 1-1. Here's the 1-1. Had him out in front of the off-speed pitch. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Stump Merrill hoping as he goes through the signs.
Well, like you said, we know one thing that Azocar is not trying to do, and that's get a base on balls. Yet to have one this year. About 100 at bats.
This is the 100th if it's an at bat.
He's up there to hack.
1-2. Right center field. Canseco moves over. 2 down. So Stewart needs just 1 more for the complete game win.
Well,
Azocar hits back. Yeah.
Oh, that split finger, though. It's up in the strike zone, but see him out in front, see the body go forward, and just a little movement of the split finger fastball. You can see he's disappointed. Good pitch to hit. He gets under it. And when you do that, they normally catch it.
116 pitches have been thrown by Stewart in the game. And Tony La Russa is on his way out.
And I think what he is judging by, you got a left-hander up, maybe you want to make Stump Merrill, and I think he's going to go to the bullpen, is the previous at-bats. A long line drive the first time up, and then just last time, a ball that just hooked foul. So 1 out away, Tony La Russa is going to do what he needs to do. Why let this guy lose the game or not get a decision? You got to bring in the guy you think it's going to be better against the hitter that's coming to the plate.
He gives the glove salute to the fans as he puts it up in the air. Stewart will go to the bench. One more out, and he'll have his 16th win of the season against 8 losses as he goes 8 2/3 innings in this ball game, giving up just 3 singles, 3 walks, and 8 strikeouts.
Well, what Dave Stewart means to this community transcends what he does on the mound. An Oakland native during the earthquake last year, spending hours comforting people in the Oakland area that lost their loved ones and their homes and damaged and so forth. Won the Roberto Clemente Award in 1990 that best exemplifies a guy that for his conduct both on and off the field. So somebody that has really done a great job, and right here in his hometown. Another guy that's done a great job is Rick Honeycutt. And one of those guys that sets up Dennis Eckersley. Eckersley now getting up and throwing. I saw Honeycutt come in on Tuesday night. He pitched against the Orioles and got Kittle out, got out Sam Horn, and then they went to Eckersley. So sinker slider, nothing really tricky, a little bit of a changeup, and there's the closer. He may not have an opportunity as we have lefty versus lefty. Honeycutt versus Mel Hall.
Very decent numbers for the left-hander, and that setup spot and a spot pitcher, as Jim says, coming on to face particular batters situations is where he gets used. He fits right in with the Oakland scheme of having people who can do that both offensively and out of the
before they
bullpen.
made the Ricky Henderson trade, they got right-handed you twice and then left-handed you a couple of times to get to the closer, and they could still do that. Cataray was out there and he went to the Yankees. Plunk, and then you had Nelson. Now you have Burns and Nelson. So they have a lot of guys that can get you into a position where you can use your closer. I think the one thing that Tony La Russa has always been able to do is use Eckersley only for an inning, maybe 2/3 of an inning. Never really has to pitch more than 1 inning. Rare occasion.
Honeycutt's ready. Sports Center coming along. Bill Patrick and Montgomery standing by. The PGA update for you. Reds Giants big series opened up in Cincinnati. All the baseball news, the National Football League preseason news, and all the rest of the sports right here on ESPN Sports Center. Right after our ball game here, Gary Thorne, Jim Palmer, 3-0 A's lead. Yankees have the potential tying run at the plate. Mel Hall with the 0 for 3, batting .269. Honeycutt. This is up high, ball 1. Base runners, Roberto Kelly's at second. Steve Sachs is at first.
17 home runs last year, 16 against righties, hit .159 against left-handers. So La Russa playing a strictly a numbers game.
1-0 count on him. That's the kind of swing that'll get you a 169 off left-handers.
Well, you know, he guessed fastball and got a slider. And if you're a veteran pitcher and you are a guy that's going to have to get lefties out, you're going to have to do that. Maybe miss with a breaking ball. Hitter just knows a fastball is coming, and then you cross him up with another breaking ball. That's how you get swings that look like that.
Kevin Moss, the rookie home run hitter, waiting on deck. Kelly and Sachs on. Good speed on the base paths. 1-1, 2 down. Strike in the inside corner by Honeycutt. 1 and 2.
If you're Mel Hall, when's the last time you had to see a guy like Honeycutt? You know, lefties will tell you what makes it so hard to hit off left-handed pitchers. They just don't see enough of them.
Honeycutt after his 5th save. Fans are up. 1-2 count, 2 down. 3-0 A's lead. Yankees down to their final out. And that's it. Play it by the book, and you get the result you want if you're Tony La Russa. A shutout as Oakland defeats New York by a score of 3-0. Stewart the win. 16-8. Losers Dave LaPointe 6-8.
Again, looking definitely on track to win 20 games for the 4th time. Just haven't seen that in a while. As we said, Clemens, the only guy to do it in the 80s, back-to-back years. And he's on his way, too. But another win. Awfully good ball club. One of the best I've seen this year.
They are in charge. Gary Thorne with Jim Palmer and all of our crew here at Oakland. Thank you for being with us. Second half of our doubleheader, won by the A's, who've now won 7 in a row over New York.